Rising, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Talk with me, Karen B. And it is episode 100 of Coffee Talk. I made it to 100, and I'm on my backup channel. I can't even do episode 100 on the Karen B channel because my channel is now down with 2 strikes. Yay! Not yay. But I'm so glad that you guys have made it here, and of course I'm still up on all my other regular channels. Rockfin, nothing has changed. Rumble, nothing has changed. Twitch, nothing has changed. Facebook, nothing has changed. It's just YouTube being a butthole. And unfortunately, that is where the majority of people like to watch the videos. So here we are. We got lost in the woods. It was excellent. Have you talked to Austin or Kai since then? That's what I want to know. Alright, let me say hello to all you fine people. Kelly F.E., Commercial Sound and Video, Benny Boy, Jay, Bill Wheel, Benny Boy. Did I say that? Yes, I said it again. Daryl Davis, hi peeps, James Harvey, did they delete Karen's main channel? No, here's the thing. You guys, because I got 2 strikes, like, consecutively for old videos on my channel. And I don't know if somebody's reporting my channel or reporting the videos to try to get my channel taken down. You know, I don't know if that's the case or if it's just YouTube, you know, coming after me, or they or whoever, whatever, because my event is coming. It seems to me that I always get this stuff during my event. Like I'll get 30-day bans on Facebook right at my event, so I can't stream or post anything to Facebook to advertise, or I'll get strikes on my channel, so I can't upload any promos, and I can't stream, and I can't promote. That always happens right before the events. So I took my main channel and I hid it. I made it not public. So you can't find it when you're searching now. And it's not because YouTube did it. I did it. I took it down and I hid it because I don't want anyone. If I get a 3rd strike, that channel is going bye-bye. And, you know, it may not be a very big channel. It's only got like 15,500 subscribers, but it took me 6 years to get those 15,500 subscribers because we're so shadow banned and stuff, and I don't want to start again, you know? It's not like the old days where like, remember ODD, he lost his channel when he had 30,000 subs. Boom, he came back and he got 300,000. Now he's got like 350,000 subscribers. But, you know, that was before they like blatantly said, we're putting the kibosh on flat earth and all conspiracies, like all that shit's getting buried. Okay, so now we're buried. Like they've gotten pretty good at burying us. Like, I can search for, you know, I will, you know, post links to my, you know, streams and stuff on Twitter, and I'll use the hashtags and stuff, and then later if I go search the hashtag, my shit doesn't come up. Everybody else's stuff, well, I don't know everybody else's, but other things will come up, like stupid little memes and stuff will come up, but links to my videos, links to my streams that I share with the hashtag, no. You know, so whatever it is, you know, they know. It's like they know who we are. They know what we're doing. It's not like we hide it. You know, it'd be stupid to think that they didn't know. And so that's just it. That's what's going on. I don't even know if it'll work. They might even, yeah. That's right. Flat Earth Subgenius. Fuck YouTube. I don't even know if it'll work. They might do it anyway. Just take it anyway. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. Whatever. Whatever happens, happens. So, anyway, that's where we're at with that. I'm streaming here for the foreseeable future because, you know, I got a 2nd strike. So it's like the way it works on YouTube. The first time you get the first strike you get on your channel, you can't stream for 7 days, right? And then after that 7 days, the strike is still on your channel for 3 months. Like, it's still there, right? It still counts as a strike for 3 months. So if in that 3 months you get another strike, well, now you have a second strike and you can't stream for 14 days. So I got the first strike and then I couldn't stream for 7 days. I made one post on my main channel. It was like a sharing something. It wasn't even a video. And then the next day I got another strike, and then it says you can't stream for 14 days and this is your second strike. And if you get another strike, your channel will be permanently removed. So that's what happened. I don't know if you guys are aware. So that's why I hit it. Anyway. Who knows if it'll work. So, Aisling717, F'd Up World, good to see you. Jason Ray, yes. Alpine Endeavor, JM, better be careful, Karen, that's a white racist flag you're showing. Oh, yeah. Oh, the stars and bars. Oh, get this. So, Twitter is changed to X. It's so stupid. Can you see? Let me see. Okay, let me see. You see this logo right here where it says X up in the corner? That used to be the Twitter bird. But now supposedly this is called X, but you still tweet. You know? I don't know. I don't know if they're very successful in their rebranding. It still says search Twitter. I don't know. It's supposed to be X now. X. And then it was trending, right? Welcome to X, because Twitter's changing to X. And so they've got this guy putting lipstick on a pig, right? Welcome to X. Stars and bars. Confederate flag. It's hilarious. So, it's really weird. I don't know what it's all about. You know, he's got his son that he's called X, right? That he had with that weird chick, that Grimes chick who makes that weird, like, awful techno music. The raver chick. Well, thank you, Brian. What's up? Good to see you. Dr. E. Vales, Anson Howard, Flat Earth Subgenius Society, One Virgo 7, it will be some related Joe Biden support. Do channel members no, well, no, man. Well, I hid the whole thing, but I can't do anything there anyway. So it's like, even if you could, I mean, you know what? If you type in my URL, you'll still see the channel, right? Like, it's still there. It's just not public in search. Watch, like this. Let's see. Oh no, it says not available. So this is what happens when you hit the URL. It says this channel is not available. Because I hid it. I made it private. But it's still there, because watch. Let me see. I'd have to go. Oh, thank you for the tip, Tony Coriolis, on Rockfin. So my channel still exists because here, check it out. I'll go in chat. Hi, it's me, Karen B. Yeah. So like my channel still exists. I'm still logged into it on my phone. I just I hid the channel because I don't want it to get a third strike. I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't offend you guys, and I appreciate everybody who is a channel member, but I'm trying to save my channel. So that's it. You know, and like I said, I can't put any new content there right now anyway, so yeah. FE Nation, good times for all. What's up, Zach? That raver chick with the bad... Yes! Exactly. Exactly. Have you seen, have you heard her music? It is so awful. I don't even think I should play it. Like, I could probably play a little bit of it, but it's just awful techno music. And, you know, she's like got this really, really high-pitched voice where she sounds like a little kid. Have you ever if you've ever heard those techno songs where it's like, la 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 la, like she sounds crazy. Like a little kid. Her voice is so high. I don't even know how people can stand it. Hi Karen, check out Coffee Talk on her backup channel. Yeah. So I do have my phones open, 848-222-2480 if anybody wants to call in. Yo, Karen, I only use YouTube to send someone an easier link for when I show someone my Tony Coriolis call-ins. Yeah. All that stuff is still there. Like, I didn't delete anything. I just hid the whole channel. Because, because poop tube. What's with the Confederate battle flag? I don't know, it was on, I like this flag. I'm gonna start sporting this flag, though. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna start sporting that flag. And not like this. X, oh my gosh. That welcome to X. Twitter's dead. Yeah, you know, it's such crap. Twitter, the algorithms on Twitter are against us just like every other platform. You know, he tried to say, oh, it's free speech, da 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 da, and it was fun for like a minute. I'm telling you, that's what made me go on here and actually like come and pay for the blue check, because I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, it's actually working right. And then after I fucking gave it money, I mean, it wasn't that much, but still. After I gave it money to have the check and like have the, you know, the other benefits of being seen more or whatever, paid money so you get to be at the top of the search, right? It's like, it literally tells you that's what you get. And I'm like, cool, I want people to see my flat earth stuff. And it was working for a minute. And then that fucking WEF chick, Elon Musk put that WTF chick, this Linda Yaccarino chick, in charge of it, and then everything just went completely down the shitter. It totally stopped working. None of my stuff was, you know, it just, whatever. Just fuck all these fucking statist establishment cuck platforms. Look at this. You know? FE comedian, that's Flat Earth Subgenius, huh? Anyway. Welcome to X. Ooh, I've got callers. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen B. Tony Coriolis.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, I just saw you're talking about the YouTube stuff. As I've said on many of my call-ins, I'm banned on YouTube, so I still refuse to make a new account and do it, even though I will at some point, just I have not. So I wonder if your channel will come up, because, I mean, I don't have, like, anyone, I'm not subscribed to anyone, I'm just going in blank, no account or nothing right now since I got banned.
No, I hid it.
So I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's a hidden channel now. Like, I just hid the whole channel, because I don't know if somebody's reporting my videos or if it's YouTube just randomly coming at me. So I hid the whole channel for a little
even
while.
how, like, yeah, when I was talking with you and Mark Sargent on Strange World, I was just saying how I get into discussions with people about stuff, and then they say, oh, YouTube doesn't have time, like, to do that. Like, their job is nothing. They got nothing going on. They probably just, you know, sit around documenting accounts like yours and stuff, like, trying to, they're all weirdos, so I don't trust them, and I don't really think it's just naturally someone going through your stuff. I think they already have it all planned, and, you know, they're just toying with you right around your festival.
Yeah, well, it could, yeah, I don't know. Could be.
Yeah, dumb either way. Either way.
Yeah. So I just decided to
I
hide
did
it.
just... Go on.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I just booked my room for Sam's Town.
Nice. Excellent.
Yes, and intimidatingly, it said on the website, it said 108 people booked the room within the last 48 hours.
Really?
And I said, like, I was a little sweating that the hotel was going to get full, but I don't know, it said that on the website and let me still book a room, no problem, so.
Yeah, right on.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be
Looking
a great
forward
time.
to it.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
It's going to be the coolest thing ever. So I still am thinking through, like, I'm thinking more about that karaoke, as we said, and then I said, maybe that song, the Paul Simon song, I might do. I wanted to ask you if you've heard any of the new Van Morrison stuff he's released since COVID started.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So I'll just say that I was all obsessed with COVID when COVID was going on. And then, like the Van Morrison music, I really thought that it was great. It was hitting the nail on the head. So I just thought that it was really good, but really no one was talking about it. Then I finally saw Andrew Kaufman, the doctor guy.
Mm-hmm.
He did one episode of his show, and I don't really know what his show is, but someone sent me it, and it was a really good episode. He was talking with some guy, and they were talking about music. And then the guest that he had on was really saying how, like, a bunch of today's music is shit, and people are putting out stuff, with hidden messages and stuff. And Kaufman was like, is anyone good nowadays? And then Kaufman said he might be a plant, but Van Morrison's stuff since COVID started has been so spot on, so fire. I'd say check out the Van Morrison stuff. He released an album 2020 and 2021 or 2022. And then his latest one is like a little flop for me, I think. But the two that he released right after 2020, oh my God, they are so good. I may even have those as an option for me doing karaoke out there if that happens,
Interesting.
So yeah, Van Morrison, he's killing it. Just you check it out. I've recommended it to a bunch of people, but I still haven't really heard people talking about it. And it's such revolutionary, like stuff. He's saying in one of the songs, he said, "Klaus is the wizard, Gates is playing God. This can't go on anymore." Like it's so he gets it. You can tell in his music.
Look at
cool
yeah. I'm showing one of his album covers. It says, "What's it gonna take?" And it's got like Puppet Master hands with strings, and then at the bottom it says, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." Wow, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. So yeah, check it out. Check that album. I'd say start with that one. That one's super good. The 2020 one's a little longer, but both very good.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I did not know about that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hey, I'm here at my Bikini Beans place, about to order my coffee, so I got a jet. But thank you for taking my call. Looking forward to Vegas. Vegas, baby.
All right, awesome. Thanks for calling.
All right, peace out, Karen.
Bye. Oops. That's interesting. I didn't even know. I had no idea. But, of course, if he's speaking out like that, he's probably not going to get promoted a whole bunch. Let's see. View all shows. San Diego, Boston, Las Vegas, Nevada, September 6th. And the 8th. And the 9th. San Francisco, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, Providence, Rhode Island. Interesting. Alrighty. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Fine, unmuted. Hey, it's Jesse. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very good. So, a couple things. Just tuning in. Brittany and I completed our second trip to Canada, and this time we crossed over. We got to experience the wildfires, whatever is going on up there. So we basically were in Great Falls, Montana, and it was totally clear, and we decided we were going to go to Glacier National Park. and we got on I-15, and all of a sudden it was just like a wall, like boom, there you go, and the visibility just dropped like crazy. So we still went to Glacier. It was nice, just not as nice as it could have been. Then we proceeded up to the border, US 89, I think it's Alberta 2, and 60 seconds, we just got right across. No mention of COVID-19, no mention of vaccination, no mention of negative tests, nothing. Just nothing ever happened. And then we continued ultimately towards Calgary. Visibility wasn't that great. You could barely see the Canadian Rockies in the distance when you look to the left. Normally you'd be able to see it clear as day. But it was high enough altitude so you really couldn't smell what was going on. So we went into Calgary, and very interesting. We ended up at this honky-tonk country bar in downtown Calgary. And one of the things that apparently they do in Canada, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but they actually, not only do they look at your ID, they actually enter it into a little system. So maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. What do you think about that one?
They put it into a system?
They literally, I guess the idea is if you punch someone out, they know who you are, They literally, it only took like 10 seconds. They just literally scan it, and it's there. So they have, I guess, all your information, if you cause trouble or whatever,
Oh, like you're talking about the Canadian border?
No, not at the border. This is actually just at a honky-tonk bar we went to in Calgary.
Oh.
So not only do they look at your ID, they actually, scan it in. And I never experienced that in America. I don't know about... Have you ever seen that happen over here?
No.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
That's crazy to me.
I guess the theory is, and I was kind of like, whatever. We had a good time, and it was nice, and it was a great band. I guess in theory, they know who you are if you, punch someone out. In theory, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that data. Nothing happened, obviously,
Yeah.
So anyway, then we continued east into Saskatchewan, and Saskatchewan literally smelled like a barbecue. It was that bad. Not so bad that you couldn't breathe, but you knew something was going on. It was bad. And the visibility wasn't great at all. You could still drive at normal speed, but other than that, normally it's flat as fuck out there, and normally you'd have some pretty crazy views, and not at all. And then we got into Manitoba. Just before Manitoba, just cleared right out. Just nothing was going on. So that's the story with the Canadian wildfires. That's what's happening as of about a week and a half ago. And I've heard different things. It wouldn't surprise me if something fishy is going on, but who knows? Really no way to prove it. I've heard some people say that some of them may have been arson, one form or another.
Yeah.
And then getting back to the United States, very simple. Maybe 2 minutes once they got to us. No mention of COVID-19, no mention of vaccination, like nothing ever happened. What was interesting, they pull up to the guard, and the guy's like, "What? Storm spotter from Hingham, Massachusetts? What are you guys doing over here?" I'm like, "How do you know it's from Hingham, Massachusetts?" He's like, "We're the U.S. government." Like, "Oh, I guess you must have ran my plate or something." He's like, "Well, I can't tell you, but that would be a really good guess." But yeah, no, very easy, no issues. So yeah, Canada's wide open, as I've said before. Our second trip, enjoy it while it lasts,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you were saying there's going to be some international people coming to Las Vegas. I guess did they finally drop the vaccine requirement?
Oh yeah, the vaccine requirement's gone. Citizens? Yeah, America is wide open now. Okay. So
finally wide open.
Yeah, so I do have people coming international, presenters and attendees. So
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we did have a little meetup in Winnipeg. Unfortunately, only one person showed up, but made a good friend out there. Pretty cool. He was a long-time listener to Strange World. I'm just thinking, everyone, not everyone up there probably listens to the show. I had sent it out on the app once I got there, because you can only do like that 50-kilometer radius. After initially picking out some random dots, but several people got back to me after the fact. But, oh well, it was a good time though. At least I finally got to meet a Canadian, and he said, basically the same thing, similar to what was going on here. That in Winnipeg it was pretty bad at one point, but you get out to more rural areas, much more loosely enforced. People really didn't give a crap. Similar to what you'd expect. What we end up having out here. Really, pretty much the same thing.
All right.
So, that's the deal with Canada. Another different topic. Are you familiar with a viral video? I guess it's been in the news not too long ago. There was a lady who was on an aircraft that was about to take off, and she absolutely pretty much had a temper tantrum saying that one of the flight attendants was not real. Did you hear about that one?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that? Do you think she was crazy? Or, Terminator 2, a lot of movies do predict the future, as we know, in some aspects. So what are your thoughts on that one?
I don't know.
And I have a little follow-up thing about that.
I felt like that chick sounded like she had been drinking to me. She sounded a little loopy. But
right.
I don't know. Who knows what crazy people do. People are insane. Like, if you go around, you spend enough time around people, you'll see that there are some crazy ones, and they just do stupid shit, and it doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what's up with that chick, but everybody's got an HD camera in their pocket. So now everybody's recording everybody else's crazy and putting it on the internet.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that, could that person have just intensely been planted there, and it was just, a staged thing just to get people all wound up. I mean, the only other thing I could think of. But there was another video I saw, apparently has gone viral, of that basketball player Stephen Curry making 5, greater than 3/4 court shots in a row. And some people are saying that, that would be statistically impossible. And there's claims that Stephen Curry might not be, a real person, and that he's, a cyborg of some sort.
I don't know.
Of course, officially, the Warriors are saying that that video is fake, and I've watched the video a couple times. I mean, I guess it's hard to say for sure. So who knows?
Yeah.
Thought that was an interesting one, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard the claim that one day, artificial intelligence is just gonna take over like crazy, and
no, it's
unable
not
to defeat it.
I don't believe that.
I mean, I don't think so either. But yeah.
No. Anyway, I got another caller waiting, Jesse, so I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for calling.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, take care. All right, thanks for calling. You're on with Karen B.
Good morning, Karen. How are you on this fine day?
Oh, I'm doing great, JM. How are you?
Oh, just watching the world burn.
Yeah. Is that it?
I called you for a couple reasons. No. I called you for a couple reasons. You got to be careful putting up them huge white racist flags there. Get in trouble for that, Karen.
Yeah.
You're going to get this channel taken down.
I know, right? Actually, I almost for a second thought it did get taken down, because when I first came in here in the morning to go live, it's all, you can't stream right now because you have a strike. And I was like, not this channel too. And then I realized I was in Karen B.
Uh-huh. You and your strikes for your hate speech telling people we don't live on a magical spinning ball. Karen,
Mhm.
what are you going to do next, Karen? You going to tell us Santa Claus is not real too?
Yeah,
Is that next?
I might. That might be next.
What about the Tooth Fairy? That too?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I mean, I saw the movie with The Rock, Karen. I mean, come on. He was a former hockey player and then became the Tooth Fairy, right?
Wait, what?
You don't remember the movie where The Rock played the Tooth Fairy?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Am I dating myself now?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, another movie where it was a dude dressing like a chick.
Of course, they have to do that. That's part of the gig there. You understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But good old Elon Musk and his new X dealy thing
Mhm.
he's doing here with Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure most of us in our circle knew that, okay, this isn't being done with Twitter for free speech as the Team Red players were believing.
Right.
All Team Red players were celebrating, oh, we got our guy now, the most beloved man. I'm like, the same guy that's making fake rockets and has all these contracts with the federal government?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Let me know how that works out for y'all on Team Red.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he replaced with that wonderful new head of his X platform now. She's in league with the who are those people at that wonderful organization that
the World
wants
Economic
the best
Forum.
for us.
Yeah, the WEF.
Yeah, they're just out for our best interest at heart. But we knew he was going to do something, and it had to be along with the lines of what this new and what this government wants, this one world government wants. Let's face it, okay? CBDC is coming, whether we want it or not. The digital government-backed currency is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With what's happening with inflation across the plain, there's only one or two ways to correct this problem. The first one is war. The second one is the digital currency. They're doing a combination of the two, in my opinion, because they love to have the slaughter of young men. That's part of their gig that they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to reset the currency. The U.S. dollar is toast.
Yeah, well, it's been losing its value for decades, so.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's getting out of control. When you're sitting here looking at the average, depending on what part of the America you live in, where the average monthly mortgage payments are $2,400-$2,500 a month for a house, it's insanity. It's not sustainable.
Right.
You're just not going to be able to afford that. And the cost of food is just getting out of hand. But I say all that to set the groundwork is he is also bringing in his blockchain into this X platform. That's been the one thing he's been wanting to do, have a centralized point where he has the blockchain, which is the backbone of the digital currency, and how things are going to work in the future, along with FedNow.
Wait,
He's building this platform for it.
Who's building a blockchain?
Blockchain that's what he's doing with his X platform. It's going to be a social media. It's going to be a communications point. It's also going to be a blockchain.
Okay.
It's going to be connected with blockchain.
I didn't know that. I guess I haven't been paying attention.
I look into this crazy stuff, this conspiracy stuff, as my brother-in-law says. No, I'm just looking at what your heroes are doing there, buddy. Your saviors, with his rockets to nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's going on. And my prediction is the system is going to give us a team red player in office in 2024.
I think they're going to
Who
put
will
Trump
it
back in
be?
there. I think they're going to put Trump back in there.
So what?
They're going to put Trump back in
Oh,
there.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
I
gonna bring
do
Trump
too.
back.
I do too. I truly believe, because I mean, let's be honest here. We can throw out. We know this is theater. We know what's being, for the most part, of what's going down with this. But if you seriously look at it, let's be honest, Karen. This man's got a following.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a town that I am very, very close to where I live. Okay. In February of this year, the man got over 100,000 people to show up when he came to town.
Mm-hmm.
In friggin' February. And I talked with people that went to it, and they said it was amazing. You know, there were just tons of people out the night before. In February in the Houston area, sucks.
Right.
That wet cold, just a nasty cold. But these people sat out there all night and all day for that man to show up.
Huh.
As soon as they're done with the sideshow they're doing with all of his legal battles he's dealing with, which he will get out of because it's all scripted, just like they did with good old Hillary Clinton. Same thing.
Yeah.
They will slide him in as the savior. The U.S. dollar will crash as war in the Ukraine escalates. He will bring the cryptocurrency, the CBDC, and the people will applaud him and openly welcome it with open arms.
Mm-hmm.
He's a businessman. He's a businessman.
He got everybody to
take
take the you know what ski, the plunger. You know?
Lots of people did.
Lots of people did. Exactly.
Here's the problem, though, Karen. You use the CBDC or you don't buy anything. That's going to shift a boatload of people. And they're not going to leave us starving for that long. They're going to make it very uncomfortable unless they're literally looking at having a complete, total meltdown of the America as we know it. I just don't see how that would benefit them because it will turn into Mad Max in the streets. Let's be honest, Karen. Close down the fast food places and the grocery stores for 3 days. These people will go insane.
Well, yeah. I think I heard some discussion where they were talking about that the CBDCs are a way to get people to take the chip. Because think about this. How many people use cryptocurrencies? Really not that many. Okay, it's still relatively new to a lot of people. Most people are just used to the traditional banking system with dollars, right? And they're not that, and a lot of people are not that tech savvy. There's a vast majority of people who don't get into cryptocurrency because it's just over their head and they don't want to take the time to learn. They just don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So what they could be doing with the CBDC in order to get everybody to, to use it. And if people are going to be like, well, I don't know how to use it. Oh, well, we can just give you this chip and then you just put your hand next to the thing and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to learn anything. Just put your hand there next to the
chip will
next
not
to
come.
the reader.
The chip will not come quickly. The chip will not come quickly. What they'll do is, let's be honest, go to any place now and transact business. Pull out cash to pay for something, and 9 times out of 10, the cashier, unless they already know me, just give me a look like, huh. They're very surprised to see cash coming across. All they're going to do is your bank card will be a new bank card. The quote unquote chipping may come in the future, but they're not going to go right from no more U.S. dollar, no more paper currency to put a chip in your hand.
No, it's going to have to be a transition, but they're working on it. They're working on it though. It'll be slow, but they'll do it. They'll just chip away at it the way that they've chipped away at everything else.
The sad part is, though, everything you do with the CBDC is tracked and traced. Every purchase you make, everything. They can determine. Now, Karen, it looks like your man Ted done went to the store and he already bought a 12-pack 4 or 5 days ago. We're going to have to go ahead and not allow him to purchase, even though he's got the CBDC money on his account. We just don't think Ted should be allowed to have 2 12-packs a week. You understand, right? Because he's not following the system. If Ted would just follow the system, eat his McDonald's at least 3 times a week like he's supposed to, he may be able to get 2 12-packs a week if he's a good boy. And I'm using that in sarcasm.
Yeah.
I don't want Ted coming up to me in a bed. Are you talking shit about me? No, I'm just having fun, Ted.
Yeah.
Because he's busy out there, planting stuff and making real friggin' food. And I've seen some of those pictures on his garden. I'm like, damn, that stuff looks good.
Yeah.
Y'all over there making that real food, Karen. You know that's a crime, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a criminal.
But that's the road I think it's going. They've got no other choice. This inflation is not going to be able to handle the way it's going, and there's no way to slow it down. It's not.
Nah. Well, we'll see. See what they do.
Although I do want to add one thing is, I have 2 4-legged friends that live with me, and little bit less than a week ago, I switched their diet from, the bag dog food, as I call it now, the McDonald's of dog food. You think you're buying the good dog food, spending all this money on that processed crap, and it's just garbage. In just the first few days of feeding them, real meat, real vegetables, real things, not processed garbage, their attitude, their demeanor, even their coats, night and day difference, their energy levels. I am blown away at what it's done to my animals, just switching their diet from the processed bag food to real food.
Yeah. That's great.
And not to sound gross, but I mean, normally when you're out walking, your dog poops and, you got the bag, you pick it up and it's like, oh, this reeks to high heaven. Now, yeah, I mean, it's poop. I'm not saying it doesn't have a smell to it, but it's not rancid like it used to be before.
Yeah, that makes sense. It works like that for humans. The more processed garbage you eat, the more your excrement stinks. And then when you start eating cleaner, then you don't stink so bad. That's a thing for sure.
And it's fascinating because they're eating the same, maybe even a little more food than they did with the processed crap, but their poops are not as much as they used to be. I am incredibly surprised.
Well, I don't know. Have you weighed them?
I have noted, I haven't weighed them. I'm going to weigh them in a couple weeks, and I'm going to give it a couple weeks in. But looking at my dog, I got one dog who's 12, and looking at him, and even my son said the same thing. He's slimmed down. He was never overweight, but he just always kind of had that. He's a Staffordshire Terrier, and they always kind of have that little bloated look to them in the rib cage area.
Yeah, they're bulky dogs.
But even that has just, what?
They're bulky dogs, right? They're muscly, right?
Exactly. But he's slimmed down a little bit and looks fantastic. And he used to, he was a short-haired dog, but he used to shed. I mean, you'd run your hand down his back and you'd have a handful of hair. And now, just a little bit, like, you would expect normally in less than a week of just putting him on a real food.
Cool. I started giving my dog She Legit. Because I bought She Legit for myself and Ted, and then at the website had She Legit for pets. So I bought him a bottle, and we've been giving it to him. now for like a couple weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also noticed another thing too, and my son pointed out what he thinks it is, which makes sense, is I was telling my son, I'm like, man, Sam and Ben are just, when they go to pee now, like my other dog, Sam, he'd walk a few feet, squirt a little bit, walk another few feet, squirt a little bit. Now he's literally stopping and just almost standing there like a normal person. And my other dog, Ben, we were getting ready to go out over the weekend one morning, and Sam's sitting there waiting for Ben to hop in the truck. And I'm like, Ben, where the heck are you? It had been like a minute or two. And I go around the corner. He's still standing there just peeing. I'm like, damn, all righty, finish up, brother. Like 4 minutes stood there going to the bathroom. And my son says, he goes, Dad, all this good food you're giving them, their body is flushing out all the toxins from all that other crap they used to eat.
Yeah. Wow, there's a comment in chat says that he feeds his pit bull raw and that his dog hasn't had fleas in 6 years since you switched him to raw. Do you not do anything else for to keep fleas off your dog? Because that's impressive if that's true.
That wouldn't surprise me, just in what I've seen. Because, I'm thinking, okay, because I was reading a lot of stuff before I switched. My older dog, he was getting older and just, and of course, when you talk to a veterinarian, well, he's 12 and a half now, when they get this age, and and, you get that gut feeling and you look at it and go, no, there's something else that can be done. And just my dog hasn't asked me to go for a walk in a long time. I'm usually got to go, okay, come on, let's go for a walk. And of course, he'll come up and go, all right, let's go. He was literally bothering me the other morning. Well, I shouldn't say bothering me, but pushing on me going, come on, I'm ready to go for a walk. Let's go, human.
Yeah. Cool. That's so good.
Just feeding. And it was funny. We were out at the lake yesterday, and I ran into a guy. He was over from one of the Asian countries. He had been in America for over 10 years. And we were just talking about, life in different parts of the world. And he said, yeah, he used to have 4 dogs in his country. And I asked him, I said, let me ask you this. You didn't feed him that bagged processed crap, did you? And he goes, well, my country, we're not the most wealthiest country, so we really don't have a lot of that. And I said, that's a good thing. I said, you fed them all natural food. And he goes, to be honest with you, they get our scraps. I said, yep. I said, I bet your dogs were healthy and energetic. He goes, incredibly healthy, incredibly energetic.
Yeah.
Even my other dog, Ben, who was always skittish and kind of, nervous about things just because he was abused before we adopted him, even his demeanor is better now. It's almost like he had ADD before, and now that I'm giving him good food, it's calmed down, and he's been able to handle being out in areas now where it's a lot busier and a lot of stuff where he don't really be scared and, darting around everywhere, just a lot calmer and more mellow.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes.
Oh, I've heard of diet change helping that with humans too. So that makes sense, yeah. See, that's to me is just evidence of the crap they put in the food supply. It's all, FDA approved. It's okay to eat. Yeah, sure it is. Fuckers.
They're poisoning us.
Mm-hmm.
Karen, when I went to a concert in February, I know this is a surprise. I like my heavy metal, and I still get in the mosh pit because you got to have good, clean, violent fun when you go to a metal show. What's the point of going if you can't? And
Right.
I'm looking around in the mosh pit and the floor, and I'm going, most of these people are overweight, and I'm not talking a little overweight. I'm talking fat people.
Yeah.
And all I could think was, oh my God, the Americans have been fattened up for the slaughter.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you go to the beach, it's a totally different scene these days.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I was out at the lake yesterday and looking around at most, especially the females. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah, it was very. But it was funny, those people from the Asian country that were over, they were more from the, can't remember what the heck, it was Arabic type country, but he was, you know, normal looking, the best way to describe it, not overweight. Yeah. And, but once again, I looked over and saw what him and his family were eating. They were eating actual real food.
Yeah. That's great.
Well, thank you very much, Karen. We greatly appreciate all you do and all the work you do, and screw YouTube and their BS for giving you those strikes. Especially, I find that one very peculiar, that it was the Owen Benjamin one, because I promise you they did that because there were a lot of people looking at that going, wait a minute, a former celebrity person in Hollywood explaining his fighting the waking up that we don't live on a spinning ball.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the most viewed video on my channel. It was like almost 80,000 views.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you that's why they gave you the strike.
Yeah. Well, and it was up there during the whole pandemic too, the whole thing. Because that was well before that. So it's like, oh, now it's hate speech? Okay. And then the other one
they got to be getting ready, and I think... Oh, the other one was which one?
It was a Flattoberfest promotion video. It was where I was talking about Simon Dan using Flat Earth for money, and then Flattoberfest early bird ticket sale or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, see what you guys are doing.
You can't pick on Simon Dan, Karen. He knows pseudoscience.
Yeah. Well, it didn't say Simon Dan. It said Simon Douche. So, I don't know how they found it.
There's the problem. You have to disclose that you're talking about feminine hygiene products before you talk about them, Karen. You have to give the disclosures, Karen.
Yeah.
So next time you talk about Simon Douche, just disclose, I'm going to be talking about feminine care products in this next segment here. That should keep you safe.
Yeah. All right, JM. Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much, Karen. You have a great one.
Okay,
bye.
You too. Bye. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Miss B. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Great show, great topic. Always love tuning in, but I definitely want to know your opinion on, since we're coming in, I just want to know your opinion on coming into the winter, or just shout out to people what they should be doing to stay healthy for this upcoming winter. I mean, you're talking about food and being healthy, and I mean, we know that if you eat junk, you're going to smell like junk, and I did get your joke about weighing the. You weren't talking about the dogs. I know you were talking about poop.
Yeah.
So I got that. But I just wanted overall, man, shout out to how people should, what they should be doing to stay healthy and preparing for this upcoming winter. I think that'd be something to get people lined up on. Detoxing metals, parasite deep cleansing, building up vitamins, taking certain things. Because absolutely, the world is just full of misinformation, and you're talking about being at the beach and looking at the photos, comparing to people of today,
Mm-hmm.
and how we are and how everybody looks, and I think that had a lot to do with the fast food craze back then, in the 70s.
Yeah,
and I do believe fast food was probably really healthy then. Small companies starting in, fast food pizza, food, ham, whatever. It probably was really good at one time, right? And then now it's horrible. Fillers, they add sawdust and plastics and everything just to make you can't have 60 million McDonald's serving 100 million burgers a day, right? It can't happen.
Right.
And I don't know, just preparing for, should be really looking for, because there's so much. I'm just so tired of. I listened to Modern Day Debate yesterday with Mark and who was it on the last Flat Earth. It was like 4.5 hour debate, and I haven't listened to one in a long time, that long, and. Really, I thought my head was going to explode. It felt like at the end of it, I pulled my head out of a microwave. I just can't handle anymore the debating over the pettiest, smallest. It's just unbelievable, the nonsense that people spew and don't even understand the flat earth to begin with. Just the general belief of, where we live, what we live on, and things we don't know. Mm-hmm. We just don't know, and I'm tired of people making up fantasies about what's out there. I mean, it's good. I love it. It's like a science fiction book. I mean, people have made stories up about space forever and what's out there, Star Trek, Star Wars, whatever. And I think it also should be done with the North Pole and what's in Antarctica as well. There's never any movies or books that even tease the idea, so it's good. But the under earth part, people demanding answers. What's under? What is a moon in? You can't explain to me what the eclipse is? Oh, then you're stupid. It's like,
yeah,
man, if you don't know, you can't know everything. It's like, well, we're scientists. It's 2023. We know everything. Jupiter's made up of these gases. Really? Really? And what's your proof of that? What, you sent a satellite? It's like Dave Weiss said, you sent a satellite to beam at a planet, and it tells you what gases you have. Okay, let's demonstrate that on Earth. Let me fill up 3 hot air balloons with 3 different types of gas. You shoot your laser out there, and let me see if you can tell what's in those 3 hot air balloons. It's just these stupid, it's like, I don't know. I just get so frustrated with it all. I lost the words, but, my big thing is preparing for what's coming. And,
well, what do you mean?
Shout out to the Amish.
What do you think's coming?
Well, I don't think we're out of this yet. I don't know. I'm just not sure. I don't know if they're going to push something else that's going to come, or...
Well, I know...
I don't know. I just want to stay on point, and I see them, they just, they want to scare everybody with nuclear weapons. That's the whole thing right now. And to me, that's just a joke, because I'll take a nuclear weapon coming into my town than an airplane spraying a bioweapon. They want to scare you with, nukes. Oh, watch out for nukes, when you got all these countries making who knows what. And that's okay. But we should be afraid of nuclear weapons. It's like, dude, let's just, I'd rather be someone that dies in an explosion with 2 million people than us run around suffering, watching loved ones die of sickness, disease, whatever could happen. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know. Is it going to be chaos, or is it just going to be the people that got the vaccine that we're going to deal with this coming winter? We got the new flu shot coming out. Who knows what that's going to spread into? So, just being prepared. Maybe it's just paranoid. I get paranoid anyways. I find myself even afraid to eat sometimes at my age, late 40s. Man, I can't even really bring my mind to eat food sometimes, because I just don't know where it's from. I have questions, and I get it in my head, and I'm really, I try to grow as much as I can, and I just have like a food paranoia nowadays that I've never had before. And it's even spreading to my kids, man. My kids are like, I've said so much that, well, they're not eating crap anymore. They don't eat junk food at all. They're the most, it's just crazy. And I'm blessed that they think the way they do. But, I listen to a lot. It's always on the radio. I don't have TV. I don't do music. I'm just shows and podcasts all the time. I can't tolerate anything anymore on it that comes out of it. It's like the writer's strike, Mm-hmm. Like, dude, sorry, I'm for you guys getting more money, but after all the crap you've dished out in the past 3 years, I don't give a shit. You did a bad job, you get punished, man. If I did a bad job at work, they wouldn't reward me.
Exactly.
Your stupid propaganda and your, all your rainbow flavors you try to push down our throat every day. Whatever. So, I don't know. Are you preparing for anything? Or are you just staying the same way you are? I mean, are you
I mean, we
just
do
maintaining a
gardens.
normal pace, or what do you think? What do you think this fall winter's gonna bring?
Yeah, I don't really know. I can't, I can never really, I don't really like trying to predict things, you know, it's just, I don't really know what's going to happen. I just try to take care of myself the best way that I can and just take care of my children the best way that I can. You know, I do similar with you, like I don't buy junk food, I don't buy candy, I don't buy sodas, you know, they don't eat a lot of sugary food, which is a huge thing. You know, I see a lot of people just eating tons of sugar, and that's, you know, lending to the
Yeah.
weight problem and stuff, all that processed food. So that, and then I just try to stay active. Ted and I have started working out again. And then we take Shilajit. I really like Shilajit. I don't know if it's Shilajit or Shilajit or whatever you call it, but
Yeah,
it
I do
helps
have
you,
some.
yeah, it
Yeah.
helps you get rid of heavy metals. So like if you take that daily, you're helping your body regularly detox stuff like that. So that's one of my favorite
There's also
supplements to take.
there's also something else I was brought to my attention yesterday about some DIM or DHN. It's like concentrated broccoli. They're in gel caps,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to pull metals out of your body. Also,
Mm-hmm.
you can get it at like PNC or the vitamin shop, all that. But it's like it's concentrated broccoli. Is what they say. I mean, whatever's in it, the chemicals in it, it's supposed to detox metals too out of your body.
Yeah, and
I
cilantro
don't know.
also does that, and like, and you know, David Avocado Wolf has detoxes. Like, I guess if you go to his website, I guess I can pull it up and see what he's got. But and then Amanda Vollmer has detoxes that she recommends for people. I don't really, to be honest, I haven't really done like a full-on detox. I guess what I did is I did fasting. I started fasting, like intermittent fasting for a while, which I think is also like a really good thing to do because, you know, it's like really, if you think about it, that one of the best ways to help your body get rid of stuff is number one, you stop taking anything in, so you're not taking in anything that is could be possible, you know, junk or whatever. And then your body just
Hmm.
starts cleaning itself out. It just starts, you know, getting rid of stuff. And like if you do it for a few days and you kick your body into that ketosis mode, it can help your body heal things. It can really help you health wise. So like I did that. I haven't fasted for a while, but I was doing that. I stopped eating sugar. I just started trying to eat really clean food. And then, you know,
Yeah.
once I did the fasting, one thing that really did for me is it made me reduce my overall food intake on a regular basis. So like now I don't feel like I have to eat multiple times a day to sustain myself. And I don't. Most of the time I will just eat like once a day with maybe like small snacks here
Me
and there,
too.
like a dried figs, dried fruit, stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Same here.
mhm.
Mostly just snacking all day, and then something a little at lunch, and then yeah, the big dinner, or
Yeah, I'll just make a dinner.
you know what I can
That's
handle.
usually what I'll do. I'll make a big dinner. Sometimes, you know, if the whole family's here, if all of us are here and everybody's up early, I'll make a breakfast and then I'll make a dinner later. But that's not very often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I did catch David Alcott Wolf's the Zoom meeting. I didn't watch all of it. I couldn't, but I did catch his water fasting, and man, that's something I need to make time to get more involved with David online, and even Amanda Ballmer. You know, I got DMSO from her. I've been using it for my dogs. So it's out there. Well, as long as hey, thank you. I don't want to ramble on too long. But, you know, just trying to see what would be your biggest concerns for the end of the year. Is it going to be health-wise? Is it going to be the digital currency? Or is it just more like c'est la vie?
Yeah, well, the state of the economy kind of has me a little bit concerned because, you know, I don't think we've ever, I mean, we've had some recessions and stuff, but we haven't had like a major, anything major economically as far as I can really tell during my lifetime. Like we're like crash of the of the stock market 1930 style or anything like that, you know? So,
Yeah.
so probably I do feel like they are doing something. Like probably JM is right, you know, and they are trying to push the CBDC. They're doing something. They're up to something. They want more tracking, more power, blah blah blah. But see,
And
but this is
control
the
and more
thing.
everything.
Yeah, we gotta not consent to this stuff though. People have to speak up, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
No
guess
kidding.
that's just what
No
that's
kidding.
you
And I just
know.
had I had another quick story. So I'm kind of new to North Carolina. Tons of rifles. Went to buy my first handgun last week. Actually, it was a gift from my wife. And so I got it and gave it to her for her birthday. That was a month and a half ago. 2 weeks ago, while I'm at work, the FDA came knocking at my door, demanded the firearm back. And they said if I didn't give it back, they'd have a warrant for my arrest. And so I went through the whole background, the whole process, and they let me purchase it, they let me buy it, they let me bring it home. But when they showed up, they either said I can give it to somebody and sign it over, or I had to go back to where I purchased the gun and see if I can get a refund. So I tried that, and I met them at the gun shop, went over there. They gave me $100 buyback on the pistol, and they said that I couldn't return it because of a fight I got into at 19 years old in California. And it's the way that they wrote it on their coding that just the way California coded it prevented me from having a firearm for just a regular fight that I got into at a party one time. And so because of that, they came and they took my pistol away from me. And now I have to go through an expungement process out in California to get it. And I'm just tripping out wondering if that's something new that they're doing and they're just trying to pull money in, because you know, just to get that expunged off my record is going to cost me a lot of money.
Was it a felony?
No, it wasn't a felony.
That's crazy.
Nope. Yeah, it's crazy. And even my wife told her it's mine. No, he gave it to me as a gift. He's like, I can't even have one in the house. But I can have all my rifles, of course, but I can't have the pistol. So they came and got it. I actually had to go down to the shop where I bought it. And in Raleigh, I had to go down to Mr. West Outpost and turn it in. And they were there waiting for me. They said, we'll be there waiting. And sure enough, when I pulled in, they were there waiting for me.
That's crazy.
And yeah. So I had to turn it in and sell it back to them for a quarter of what I bought it for. And they said, I'm allowed to have one. We just got to get it off my record. So I don't know if it's just some other reach they're doing. Because just to get it, I think it's like $1,700 it's going to cost me to get that all off.
Oh my, yeah, that's total extortion.
Yeah. So then I could have it. But I was 19 years old when, 20 freaking whatever years ago.
Oh,
26
wow.
years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's new. And there's people at my job that just can't believe it, that happened that way. So, and these are big, collectors. So they just can't believe it. So if that's something changed and they're going back in people's past and looking at stuff, I couldn't imagine if I was a big collector and I had like 20 or 30 of them, and they show up out of nowhere and be like, oh yeah, 25 years ago, you got in a fight. We're going to have to take all your stuff. Or whatever. I don't know if it's something new that came in, but
this can't be constitutional. That's got to be against the law. This can't be right what they're doing. It really can't be. I'm shocked.
I don't think so. And it was kind of like Not the Hill. It was my first one I bought out here. I didn't know what was going on. They were way cool about it, really, as lame as that sounds. I mean, they're like, no, it's just your felony. You go ahead and return it, and you're free to go. And that's all it was. Two young guys. They're just like, you're an easy one, man. Don't worry. You just got to turn. Yeah, I'm an easy one because I have one. I don't have like a whole collection that you're taking from me,
That's bullshit.
So, yeah, it was weird. So now I have to go through this weird process. I have to reach out to California and go through an appeal or an expungement off my record. It's the only thing besides a DUI on my record. And very, very weird. Yeah, they said it was just the way California coded it that makes it more of a domestic. Because I don't know. It was at somebody's house, but I don't know what went on. I never even got arrested. I don't remember what even happened. But they had I do remember the incident, but I didn't get arrested for it. But they still charged me for it, and I lived for 4 more years out there before I took off. So nothing ever happened.
Wow.
But, well, thank you. Thanks for hearing me. I appreciate your time. And,
Yeah.
Like I said once before, I'll give a shout out to the Amish.
Yeah,
But
shout
thank
out
you.
to the Amish. Yeah, thanks for calling.
No problem. Thanks, Karen.
That's so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but that can't be right. That for not even a felony, so like they're only supposed to take your weapons, or you're only supposed to lose rights to, which is I still think is bullshit, is if you are convicted of a felony. It doesn't even have to be a violent felony. Any fucking felony, and they will take away your right to purchase weapons and own weapons. It's total bullshit. There's legislation against possession of offensive weapons, but practically anything can be used to cause someone harm if it's with intent. So how do they define exactly? Some violent misdemeanors in California, you cannot buy firearms. Stupid. Oh, so that's what it is? Yeah. Get a P90? Start an LLC, put your wife on it, and put your firearms in that. Yeah, that's total extortion. That's pretty much, I think most of what the court system is just a way for the state to extort money from its citizens by making all these bullshit laws. You know, I mean, not that like, you know, not punching someone, like assault, that's not a bullshit law, but they do make up a lot of bullshit laws just so they can extort money out of you. And if you do something that's bad, you're really gonna get screwed, because then they got you, and they're really gonna extort you for money. Like, I remember being having to go through that system, and I remember sitting there, you know, in the courthouse and looking at the court clerk who takes payments, right? Oh, misdemeanors usually cost blah 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 amounts of dollars, and felonies usually cost, you know, so many thousands, and blah blah blah. Like, they have like a little system there where they're just collecting money from people who violate break the law. So they can never take any of your rights away if you learn how to speak the right language. This is what I'm saying. Exactly, indoctrinated, but people don't know that, right? They just get told that they're, you know, they have to do it at whatever the state tells them they're doing, you know, and they don't teach people about the double meanings of words and the law, and yeah. Yeah. It's a domestic violence angle that NC plays the restriction on. Yeah. I agree with that, though, because I went through that. I was in an abusive relationship, and there was a period of time there where I thought that he might take my life. I legitimately thought that. So I agree with that. You know, if you're causing harm to somebody, then you deserve it. But, you know, but to over a stupid thing like a bar fight or something, to be losing your rights to purchase firearms for like 20 years later, they're going to come take that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Traps to maim. Yeah. How there should be someone who gets paid if you break. Yeah, the state gets that money. They extort the money from you. You know, it's like traffic tickets, right? It's like if they just want you to pay the money. Yeah. Break check. Yeah. All right, you guys. I'm going to take a quick break. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to let my doggy out to go pee pee, and then I had to get more coffee. And I'm sorry. Hello! Bill is in here trying to tell people how to booby trap your property. I love it. You sound like my stepdad. He talks about that stuff. He's like, if the shit goes down, I'm booby trapping this whole place. Dang. Spars scenario. Let's see. Hey man, I'm all about it. What's this? Spars pandemic 25-28 futuristic scenario for public health risk communicators. Okay. Disclaimer. This hypothetical scenario designed to illustrate the public health risk communication challenges that could potentially emerge during a naturally occurring infectious disease outbreak requiring development and distribution of novel and/or investigational drugs, vaccines, therapeutics, or other medical countermeasures. The infectious pathogen, medical countermeasures, characters, news media excerpts, social media posts, and government agency responses described herein are entirely fictional. The echo chamber. Unbridled global access into information coupled with social fragmentation and self-affirming worldviews. Scenario purpose. The following narrative comprises a futuristic scenario that illustrates communication dilemmas concerning medical countermeasures that could plausibly emerge in the not-so-distant future. Its purpose is to prompt users, both individually and in discussion with others, to imagine the dynamic and oftentimes conflicted circumstances in which communication around emergency MCM development, distribution, and uptake takes place. While engaged with a rigorous simulated health emergency, scenario readers have the opportunity to mentally rehearse responses while weighing the implications of their actions. At the same time, readers have a chance to consider what potential measures implemented in today's environment might avert comparable communication dilemmas or classes of dilemmas in the future. Time frame for the scenario, 25 through 2028. So another 3 years thing. I guess they like to do the 3-year thing. There's something about doing it for 3 years that it's, I feel like that time is very purposeful because, and think about it. So the last one started 2020. It was called COVID-19, but it started in 2020. 3 years, right? 2020 to 2023. So 3 years on, 2 years off. Is that what we're looking at here? And then what, 3 years on? You know, this is how they do it. They like push, push, pull back a little bit, push a little more, pull back a little bit, but they never pull back as far as they were before. Ultimately, a world comprised of isolated and highly fragmented communities with widespread access to information technology dubbed the echo chamber was selected as the future in which the prospective scenario would take place. From this point, scenario-specific storylines were then developed, drawing on subject matter expertise, historical accounts of past medical countermeasure crisis, contemporary media reports, and scholarly literature in sociology, emergency preparedness, health education, and risk and crisis communication. These sources were used to identify communication challenges likely to emerge in the future public health emergencies. So it sounds like they want to create the echo chamber, right? So that everybody's only getting information from them. So it's like, how do we make it so everybody only hears what we say and not what anybody else says about the virus, right? From a government what? Are they like... Oh, scenario in the 21 has become simultaneously more connected yet more divided. Nearly universal access to wireless internet and new technology, including internet accessing technology, thin, flexible screens that can be temporarily attached to briefcases, backpacks, or clothing, and used to stream content from the internet, has provided the means for readily sharing news and information. However, many have chosen to self-restrict the sources they turn to for information, often electing to interact only with those with whom they agree. This trend has increasingly isolated cliques from one another, making communication across and between these groups more and more difficult. Oh, that's the echo chamber? From a government standpoint, the current administration is led by President Randall Archer, who took office in 2025, blah, 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 who did not seek second term due to health concerns. The two remain close, and Bennett acts as a close... Is this supposed to be their fake scenario? At the time of the initial SPARS outbreak, Nagel has served in his position for just over 3 years. Carryovers from Bennett's administration. In regards to MCM communication, more specifically, the U.S. Department of Health and Services adopted a diverse range of social media technologies, including long-existing platforms such as Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter, as well as emerging platforms like ZapQ, a platform that enables users to aggregate and archive selected media content from other platforms and communicate with cloud-based social groups based on common interests and current events. Is that really a thing? Federal and state public health organizations have also developed agency-specific applications and ramped up efforts to maintain and update agency websites. ZapQ? Guess it's not a real thing. Challenging their technological grip, however, are the diversity of new information and media platforms and the speed with which the social media community evolves. Moreover, while technologically savvy and capable, these agencies still lag in terms of their multilingual skills, cultural competence, and the ability to present on all forms of social media. Additionally, these agencies face considerable budget constraints, which further complicate their efforts to expand their presence across aforementioned platforms, increase social media literacy among their communication workforces, and improve public uptake of key messages. And that's it. That's it. Improve public uptake of key messages. That's what they want. They want the public to get their programming and their you know, their narrative. Infectious disease pandemic. The story is organized chronologically, and each chapter concludes with a treatment of key communication and dilemmas. So here's their little fake scenario. October 19, huh? In mid-October 2025, 3 deaths were reported among members of First Baptist Church, blah, blah, blah. 2 of the church members had recently returned from a missionary trip from the Philippines, where they provided relief of victims of regional floods. 3rd was a mother of a church member who had also traveled to the Philippines with the church group, but who had been only mildly sick himself. Based on the patient's reported symptoms, healthcare providers initially guessed that they had died from seasonal influenza, which health officials predicted would be particularly virulent and widespread that fall. However, laboratory tests were negative for influenza, unable to identify the causative agent. Officials at the Minnesota Department of Health, blah, 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 sent the patient's clinical specimens to CDC, where scientists confirmed the patients did not have influenza. One CDC scientist recalled reading a recent ProMed dispatch describing the emergence of a novel coronavirus in Southeast Asia. Oh, here we go again. And ran a pan-coronavirus RT-PCR test. A week later, CDC team confirmed that 3 patients were in fact infected with a novel coronavirus, which was dubbed St. Paul Acute Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, SPARS, COV, or SPARS, after the city were the first cluster of cases that had been identified. Ba, 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 ba. A transmission of SPARS was determined to occur via droplet, said CDC. Initially recommend that everyone diligently maintain hand hygiene and frequently disinfect potentially contaminated surfaces. CDC officials further urged everyone with medical attention combined with isolation procedures for suspected cases would be effective at countering the spread of SPARS, blah blah blah. And ZapQ. This is weird to me that they have this like fake social platform that they insert in here and it's called ZapQ. I mean, isn't that weird? In one world order, there can be no sovereign nation, something Putin thinks about. Spot on, Karen, just like last time. And then Anna's will die. Ooh. Rose777 sent me a tip on Ko-Fi. Why, thank you, Rose. Cheers, Rose. I love you. You're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, and Carrie sent me a tip on Rockfin. $10 tip. Cheers, Carrie. Thank you. Happy 100. Fall is bringing Flattoberfest. Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, is it 11/11? It's 11/11. It's 11/11. Master Builder.
It's 11/11.
It's that time. 11. Flattoberfest. It's gonna be epic.
Reflect.
Yeah. That's what I'm manifesting right now. Epic times.
11/11. Spirit listens. Knows more than we do. Visions manifest.
Yeah, but manifest your reality. Infinite abundance. Those are the first published October 2017. More evidence they planned all of this years in advance. Exactly. And then what about, is that the same time when they did, well, and then they did, of course, Event 201, right? It's even got a Wikipedia page. Yeah, Event 201. Derp, 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 derp. $30.31. Let's see. Live simulation exercise. October 2019. So this is, so probably, yeah. So then maybe this is modeled after the SPARS one, right? So this probably could be like, well, a version that came out before the other one, right? Communication dilemma and engendering public trust and sense of self-efficacy when a crisis is still evolving and health information is complete. How can health authorities best meet public demands in critical information such as what is the health threat? Blah, blah, blah. Possible cure. The fuck out of here. And yes, I use the F-bomb. Sorry, not sorry. Sometimes that's just the only word that will do. Early in SPARS, pandemic, public health and medical officials, blah blah blah. Does this talk about lockdowns? Because there was that other document that... Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I have it here on my desktop, so let me just search it. Search it, search it. Epic Times, yes. Appeal Sciences is based in Goleta, California, where the edible coating product Appeal can make types of fruit last twice as long as usual by using a tasteless edible coating made from plant materials. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Isn't that a Bill Gates thing? Isn't that a Bill... That's a Bill Gates thing, right? Potential vaccine. What does this say about a vaccine? Animal health. You know what else? The CEO, supposedly, of Pfizer is a veterinarian. I kind of suspect... Call me crazy. Call me a... conspiracy. That the whole veterinary profession, the whole vet system, the whole vaccinating animals in the vet system is like voluntary animal testing on these things. Because I don't know if you guys know, but they were giving coronavirus vaccines to animals before they were doing it to people. The C-19 around 2021, but the big mother is coming in 2025. Oh, here we go. Summary. In 2021, a coronavirus caused an outbreak in Region 7, Southeast Asia, hoofed mammal populations. Our researchers developed and produced an in-house ineffective vaccine against the infection. Its subsequent approval and useful ended the outbreak in the region, while largely effective in preventing infection, severe side effects, blah, 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 blah. It is unknown at this time how similar the two coronaviruses are, or whether HMRV VAC-14 or a similar vaccine would be effective in human populations. Yeah, since 2021, ranchers have been using the vaccine to prevent SPARS-like respiratory coronavirus disease in cows and pigs in the Philippines and other Southeast Asia countries. Whoa, officials recommend use of unsafe SPARS drug for children. SPARS drug may be ineffective, use it anyway. What is this? Following limited evidence of success in treating SPARS patients with Calosavir, the FDA issued an emergency use authorization for this drug as a SPARS therapeutic in the United States. While Calosavir had a positive impact against SPARS, preliminary data indicated it also caused an intense stomach cramping in a statistically significant number of adults. Additionally, while initial hopes had been that Calosavir would, in addition to treating the disease, prevent or reduce transmission, this was not the case. Nevertheless, due to high public demand for access to viable SPARS treatments, public health and healthcare agencies drew from existing SNS inventories until further production of the drug could begin. So, what are they going to say? That it mutated and then it's going to come back even worse in 2025? Is that what it's trying to say? Negative side effects. Huh. Ew. Child vomits immediately after taking Calasavir? What is this? Their fucking scenario sounds weird. Already with the drugs, well, yeah. Look up magnetic meat. There was Operation Lockstep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I have it. Hold on, let me go back to my search window. No, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. Scenarios for the future. It was this one. Scenarios for the future of technology, international development. Isn't this the Lockstep one? Yeah, Lockstep, page 18. So let's go over here. 18. A world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. In 2012, the pandemic that the world had been anticipating for years finally hit, blah, blah, blah. See? Imposed airtight rules, restrictions, mandating of wearing face masks to body temperature checks at entries to communal spaces like train stations and supermarkets. Even after the pandemic faded, this more authoritarian control and oversight of the citizens and their activities stuck and even intensified. In order to protect themselves from the spread of increasingly global problems from pandemics and transitional terrorism, environmental crises, and rising poverty, leaders around the world took a firmer grip on power. Boom. Yeah. Karen and Jim need to collaborate a rant video chewing out globe defenders for their lies and BS during debates. Jim? Jim who? Which Jim? Hey, Brianna Lynn. The Invisible Appeal, Ed Appeal on produce in Costco, Trader Joe's, Kroger. More includes arsenic, mercury, lead, cadmium, trans fats. Ew! Yeek. Yeah. Yeah, when is this one? Is there a date on it? Is this one 2010? Yeah, there you go, May 2010. This report was produced by the Rockefeller Foundation, 2010. So... there's a lot of run-up propaganda to make pandemic anticipated by the populace. Oh yeah, man. For real. I mean, because they were saying, remember all those videos of like, oh, there's gonna be a pandemic. It's gonna happen. It's like, how do you know it's gonna happen? Well, because you're gonna fucking create it. However, they create it. For sure. My cousin died of a brain aneurysm a couple weeks ago. Oh, I'm so sorry. Everyone said was nothing to do with the 2 vaccine, though. The brainwashing is real. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that didn't help. I do know someone who had a brain aneurysm and died when he was very young. He was like 32 years old. That was a long time ago. I remember that happening. But, you know, at the time, everybody was like, oh my god, it's so rare. Like, that was like, we were all just blown away by it. Like, it was incredibly shocking to us, you know, because he was a young dude, and he had like and it was a day when he had like bought a new motorcycle, and he was driving his motorcycle home, and he had an aneurysm. Like, that's how he died, and it's crazy. But, you know, like I said, we were all shocked. So, you know, stuff like that can happen, and who knows, you know, why that happened to him. I don't really know, like, you know, his personal habits or what kind of, you know, I didn't really know him that well, you know, but I just remember everybody being incredibly shocked because it's not a normal thing, right? Train stations, not airports. You would think on a study about global pandemic flights would be a priority. Maybe then air travel will not be the same. Yeah, it's happening a lot more for sure now, but this is, you know, when this happened, what I'm talking about, it was like around 2000, the year 2000. Like, it was a long time ago. And we were just shocked. Because that doesn't happen, you know? Huh. So this talks about not being able to have suitable responses to viral videos. Did they use any of this stuff during COVIDs? This is just a weird document. Why is it talking about the government wasting money on useless drugs for spars? Corovax? They're calling it Corovax in here. How can health authorities re-establish public confidence in MCM recommendations while also speaking truthfully about the state of knowledge about Corovax's safety and efficacy profile? While also speaking truthfully. So, look at this. Come on, dude. Look at this. How do we bullshit people to believe that we're saying stuff that can be trusted and still speak and still tell the truth? How can we make people trust us and still tell the truth? What the fuck, dude? Am I reading this wrong? How can health authorities reestablish public confidence in MCM recommendations while also speaking truthfully about the state of knowledge about Corovax's safety and efficacy profile? Holy shit. So, how do we tell the truth? How do we stay truthful and also maintain confidence? Fuck. Are you kidding me? This stuff just makes me sick, dude. Just makes me sick. Not medical advice. Yeah. Of lower priority vaccination groups. Well, I don't see anybody getting in line to take their miracle vaccine now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see that happening. They aren't hiding anything anymore. Right. Right. I know. They just... Yeah, this is what I was looking at, that other bullshit. Let's see, what's their latest news releases? World Economics Partners develop first zero emissions road freight cluster in India. Leaders call for innovation, entrepreneurship, and global cooperation to revitalize growth. Ratifies fisheries. Asia generative AI experts call for guardrails and responsible design. New report finds global shocks affect energy transition progress, with sustainability advancing while equity suffers. Global shocks. You know what global shocks are? COVIDs. That's a global shock. Sweden tops the Energy Transition Index, followed by Denmark, Norway, Finland, Switzerland. The Energy Transition Index benchmarks countries on the performance of their energy system as well as their readiness for transition to an equitable, secure, and sustainable future energy system. ETI 2023 scores on a scale of 0 to 100. Scores, I think it means most supposed to say scores, but they have a typo. Energy Transition Index. Okay, so this is their ability to go to zero emissions. Is that it? Or to whatever? Reliable and sustainable energy access for all by 2030 will likely be missed. Oh, you think so? You think so? Sustainable aviation fuel. With 2 to 3% of annual global CO2 emissions coming from aviation and no sign of long-haul electric flights, sustainable aviation fuel produced from biological, e.g. biomass, and non-biological CO2 sources could be the answer to decarbonize the aviation industry in short, medium term. Metaverse for mental health. Responding to the growing mental health crisis, product developers are starting to build shared virtual spaces to improve mental health. Video games are already being used to treat depression and anxiety, and VR-enabled meditation is on the rise. Combined with next-generation wearables that can allow the user to feel touch and/or respond to the user's emotional state, the future metaverse could be ripe for improving mental health. Whoa. So they think they're going to improve people's mental health by letting them isolate themselves further and becoming like completely closed off and only connected through these digital products? Wearable plant sensors. What the hell is that? Drones and satellites have been a game changer in monitoring large-scale farms that traditionally relied on manual soil testing and visual observations. Now we have a new generation of plant sensors, small non-invasive devices that can be worn by individual plants for continuous monitoring of temperature, humidity, moisture, and nutrient levels. Assuming they can overcome scaling costs, wearable plant sensors could improve plant health and increase yields. That's weird. Flexible neuroelectronics. Brain-machine interfaces allow direct communication between the brain and external computers. They have potentially life-changing applications in medicine, neurosciences such as the treatment of epilepsy, depression, or paralysis. So far, the technology has been based on the rigid electronics and limited by the mechanical and geometrical mismatch with brain tissue. But breakthroughs in flexible electronics and more biocompatible materials mean a less invasive and uncomfortable experience for patients. Oh, this is expected to grow to 6.818 billion by the end of the decade. Brain-computer interface market size. Sharon Trends Analysis Report by application. Healthcare communication and control. Invasive, non-invasive, and by end use, medical or military. And segment forecast 2023 to 2030. What? The global brain-computer interface market size was valued at US $1.74 billion in 2022 and is anticipated to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 17.5% during the forecast period. Key drivers of the brain-computer interface market include the increasing prevalence of neuroprosthetic conditions, rising global geriatric population base, and rapid technological developments facilitating communication and movement in paralytic patients. Furthermore, the use of this technology in virtual gaming, home control systems, military communication enhance the applicability of the market, fueling its growth. The COVID-19 pandemic severely affected the market. Market players such as Natus reported an impact on their supply chain during the pandemic. This is because most of their materials are single source and need lengthy qualification periods. Non-invasive BCI. Oof. The increasing prevalence of neurodegenerative orders, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and epilepsy are expected to create the demand for BCI over the forecast period. Okay. So, this kind of immediately, what I'm drawing a conclusion here for. This is me purely trying to connect dots and just thinking out loud. I can't prove it. But tell me what you guys think about this. You know, we have the planes that are in the air making the trails all the time, and that the things that come out of that are like aluminum, barium, strontium, and lithium, etc. And that aluminum specifically has been associated with things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and and probably the combination thereof. Do you think it could be possible? I mean, I think it could be possible that them spraying that stuff is to increase these issues within the population to create the demand for their invasive BCI technology. Right? Because they're using this as like the number one reason. They're like, oh, there's an increasing prevalence in neurodegenerative disorders. Look, we really want to help people. Right? Like that's their first thing. They always going through like the neuroprosthetic conditions, they want to frame it like they're doing it because they're going to help people with the technology. And they're like, oh, by the way, we'll also be able to do this. Right? So, but this right here, just, according to the WHO report, around 82 million people will be affected by dementia in 2030. And this number will reach 152 million by 2050. Why? This shows the potential demand for BCI in the coming years. The BCI technology is increasingly being used in mobile and virtual gaming industries by integrating within virtual. You guys, yeah, learn how to detox heavy metals out of your system. Eat clean, fast every now and then. Let's see, what did I see? I think I saw heavy metal detox on this one. Here we go. Heavy metal detox. Beat exhaustion and fatigue for good. How pervasive is heavy metal toxicity? Aluminum, see, aluminum, thallium, arsenic. Nutritional supplements also carry out a heavy metal detox. See, She Legit is listed here, you guys. Antioxidants in food help bind to heavy metals and remove them from your body. We don't get enough of these nutrients to counteract heavy metal toxicity. So these things can help you get rid of heavy metals. Chlorella, vitamin C, like I said, cilantro. If you like cilantro, if you can eat it, if it doesn't taste like soap to you, just add it to your food. She Legit, obviously, is really good. Milk thistle, probiotics, I guess, huh? Activated charcoal works quickly to latch onto and remove toxins. You can do this too. You can take, activated charcoal. I don't know when the best time to do it. Maybe once in the morning or once in the evening before you go to bed. Yeah, charcoal binds to poisons, including heavy metals, and flushes them out of your system. You should take caution regarding activated charcoal, though unfortunately not all products that use it follow high production standards, blah, 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 blah. So just make sure you get high quality supplements, get the right supplements. Like when you get vitamin C, don't get, ascorbic acid, get real vitamin C. C60 olive oil currently holds the world record for longevity research in mammals. So yeah, C60 is supposed to be expensive, but I know Crow has said good things about this. I have not tried it. I may try some of that though. But this is just stuff you should, you want to think about it. But yeah, but isn't that so that you won't be compelled to get the brain chip to fix your brain because you didn't detox enough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if that's really what could happen, but it sure seems like that's a possibility. Increasingly being used in mobile and virtual gaming industries by integrating within virtual reality. Yeah. Days of Noah, just like in the days of Noah. What's in the days of Noah? To bypass the anti-atomic nervous system or the delivery system of the Alzheimer's is, of course, going to be affected by aluminum buildup up your brain, permaswelling. Okay. Fluoridization. Yes. Fasting is important. I agree. Detox needs to be the way of life. That's the deal. Yeah. I mean, olive trees are cool. Yeah, olives are great. I use lactulose and my system is cleared out as well. What's that? That's interesting. So what if I feel fantastic and never fast or flush my system? You think I should still fast? Why fuck with something that's working fine? Well, I mean, if you feel fine, then you feel fine. But I'll just say this, MFT, just get some She Legit and then just, take that as your supplement. Just a little tiny bit. It's a little tiny bit once a day. It gives you all sorts of good benefits, even besides detoxing heavy metals. Just to help, because, maybe you're doing good. Maybe you're already, maybe you're fine, but, that's a buildup. It's a buildup. It's a thing that builds up in your system. So you might not have anything now, but you maybe later, but I don't want to like say that you will, because like I would never want to wish that on anybody, and I don't want to like think that I'm like saying that's going to happen to you, because I don't know. Maybe it won't, but you know, or just don't take anything. If you're already eating clean and you're already like putting some of this stuff in your diet that it was recommending, like if you already do that, you probably don't have to worry about it. But it is supposed to be a cumulative thing. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. I'll just say that. Heroin, I will quit. Vodka, not so much. Quitting alcohol was the best decision I ever made. Also considering I quit heroin too, so if you eat organic food, no people, Rob, eat from grocery stores, get a cleanse. No problem. Yeah. Bill G loves us, that's why he's working on every... Yeah. So anyway, I don't really like looking at stuff like this, but at the same time, if you look at stuff like this, you can kind of extrapolate like what they're trying to do. You know, this is like they put this stuff out here. It's like they're them basically telling us what they're trying to achieve, right? Like I don't think, you know, that why would this increase so much? Why would Alzheimer's increase by like double by 2050? Carry out various activities. Some of these activities include opening and closing doors and windows, switching on and off lights, controlling the TV set and music system, and operating a video camera at the entrance. The aforementioned factors are expected to increase the market penetration in the coming years. The increasing global geriatric population is another growth propeller for the market presently. So laziness, right? So you can't just get up off your ass and open your door or your window or turn your freaking light on. Like, come on. You don't even want, you guys, this is so ridiculous. Like, ugh. Control of smart home applications with high accuracy. Brain-computer interface systems are optimally suited for the control of smart home applications with high accuracy and reliability. So they'll be like, that's just so fucking weird, dude. See, so they'll say medical, military, and other. This is how they think that what the usage is going to be like. Military end-use segment is expected to register the fastest growth rate over the forecast period on account of increased usage of BCI during war activities. The development of mobile robots that can function as weapon-equipped drones in war zones, and advanced communication systems such as Defense Advanced Research Projects agencies, DARPA, Silent Talk, which would enable soldiers and military personnel to give commands via telepathic communication, is anticipated to contribute to the growth of this segment. So the soldiers are going to be talking to each other in their heads. Oh, fuck, dude. North America accounted for the largest revenue share of 39.5% in 2022, primarily due to the high R&D investments and a large number of clinical trials being conducted on brain devices in this region. Because remember, they did, Elon Musk's thing got approved for human trials. So apparently they're doing that already. In addition, the rising incidence of neurodegenerative conditions such as blah blah blah. They keep bringing that up, dude. They keep bringing this up. So these are all the manufacturers of brain implant shit. Boy, there's a bunch of companies already doing that stuff. Market size value in 2023, 2 billion. Forecast in 2030, 6.2 billion. Yeah. Lumen in the air is a major cause of all forest fires. Yeah, I agree, MFT, those two. I think most of the weird, like, autoimmune disease and, like, unexplainable things that happen are as a result of those. Because they definitely put lots of aluminum and, like, mercury adjuvants and crap inside of those things. It's like a laundry list of poisons you're not really supposed to put inside your body that they put in there. More soldiers died of disease in the Civil War than fighting. Warfare using biological is nothing new. The U.S. has to fall to usher in the New World Order. Soldiers won't have a say. They're owned by government. Precisely. Soldiers will be talking to each other in their heads. The men who stare at goats added to the mix. Right? The remote control. You do not want to be in a soldier's head. Trust me. Right? Borg soldiers. Anyway, what is this crazy website? Reports. Grandview Research. Industry Analysis. Huh. Interesting. Next generation technologies. Mixed reality headset market size. Commercial drone market size. US private 5G network. The global economy, including the 5G industry, has been significantly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This impact was particularly worsened in the U.S. To control the spread of the virus. Governments worldwide implemented strict lockdown measures, including the key cities. Well, anyway, lots of detox info on this website, davidwolf.com. 8 detox foods outshine apple cider vinegar. It's hard to top apple cider vinegar. Liver detox. I heard if you do a coffee enema, that detoxes your liver. Water, water, water. Remove toxins from your environment. C60 organic olive oil blend. Sweat. Activated charcoal. It doesn't talk about the liver enema. Blessings. Oh, good night, Bill. Graphene and rain. A doc called The Dimming. Oh, Dane Wigington. Yeah, I wonder about that dude, though. I wonder about that guy. Green coffee enemas detox the liver. Thank you, Billingtano. Yes. Anyway, so I would just say that. Just keep yourself healthy. Detox the poison out of your system as you see fit for yourself, because that's probably the best way to sort of mitigate, what all of the toxic stuff being put into the environment. Because it is, don't drink fluoridated water, eat clean, don't let them inject you with anything, all that stuff, and then regular detox. I want to see this really quick. I forgot. This fucking guy, he's such an asshole. I want to watch it.
I think they're so stupid, they'll believe anything. And they honestly believe that the Earth is a flat plane. I'm supposed to believe water sticks to a ball? Where water does stick to a ball? In space. In zero gravity, you can take a tennis ball and dip it in water, let it go, and the water will stick to that ball on every surface equally. And then they go, yeah, but spin it. Now spin it 1,000 miles an hour,
said in zero
and the water
gravity
will fly off. And why?
Do you hear the where's the logic in that? If it's zero, but the Earth has gravity, so how is comparing a ball in space with zero gravity supposed to prove that water sticks to the ball Earth, where there supposedly is gravity? There is gravity on Earth, right?
Fire and the buildings flying off and everyone else flying off. Let me spin it as fast as 1,000 miles an hour. 1,000 miles an hour. Let me spin it. You're talking speed. Wait a minute. I'm talking RPM. The Earth spins once every 24 hours. So let me grab the tennis ball with the water on it, and I'll get one spin in 24 hours. Because that's how fast it's going.
This guy is such an idiot.
And you tell me if anything's flying off.
And he's laughing at himself like he thinks he's so fucking smart by saying this incredibly stupid shit. Oh my gosh, dude. For one thing, when you're talking about a tennis ball spinning one time in 24 hours, think about the scale of that ball. Is the scale of the tennis ball, does the tennis ball have the same circumference as the Earth? No! It doesn't have the same circumference. So therefore, the velocity of the spin on the outside of the Earth's surface is going to be many, 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 many times faster than it would be for a tennis ball. I mean, like, and this is the guy, like, at the beginning, what does he say? They're so stupid. They're so stupid. Duh. Globies, my dudes. Do you guys even think? They don't even think things through when they say shit. Oh, water sticks to a ball in zero gravity. But doesn't Earth have gravity, according to them, or no? Oh, since the Earth is in space, it's in zero G? Okay, but that doesn't make sense, though, does it? I mean, to me, that doesn't make sense.
Believe that the Earth is a flat plane. I'm supposed to believe water
Look at
sticks
right behind
to a
him.
ball where water does stick.
Wait. The Earth is a flat plane. Look, it's right there behind you, dude. Someone set up a convo between him and Witsit. Well, you know, David talked to him. Let's see. These are all related to the Clintons. I totally lost track of my train of thought. So Earth is in space, yeah. Yeah, David went, that's right, it was David. Let me see if I can find... I mean, it's up on my Karen B channel. Like, when he calls in, he was on the show with this dude. And he was a complete douchebag. Complete douchebag.
Yeah, this one reached out to us.
No, not that one. I have David on InfoWars. David. Radio. I'm pretty sure I streamed that one though, like I did a watch party for that one. Was it this one? Oh, that's InfoWars. InfoWars. I don't know if they have this one up on the InfoWars channel anymore or not, but I do have it. I saved it. Alright, he's coming back.
Years I quit it. But I'd go out and do stuff like
people say is there's no proof of flat Earth and there's endless proof of the globe Earth, and the exact opposite is the true when you take the time to learn. The problem is believing lies are really easy. Sometimes I introduce myself on a show and I come up with this fake background. I went to medical school and I lost hope in allopathic medicine, and people believe it, and then 2 minutes later I tell them that was a lie and you just believe me. So you can believe a lie.
Yeah, but David was on with Anthony Cumia one time already, and that guy was totally, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's a douche. I was looking at these cool pictures that a pilot took from his cockpit over the Philippines. This big lightning strike coming out of the cloud. I thought it was pretty cool. I wonder if that's it going all the way down to the ground there. That's crazy. My new favorite quote, "You know enough to believe you're right, but not enough to know you're wrong." Yeah, he has been bashing Flat Earth for years. Redondo Rocket, you're correct, yes. Bet Night Clay works too, Carrie says. Congrats on 100 episodes from Run Boston Bear. Thank you. Thank you. You're saying Santa's not real? Yeah. Yeah. Well, should I wrap it up? Or what? Ooh, my shipment has been delivered. Yay! Out of curiosity, did you mean to make the Flat Earth Festival add up to 777? If you did, awesome. If not, well, that's more proof the universe is awesome. What? How does Flat Earth Festival add up to 7? What do you mean? How does it add to 7s? Because 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. Well, that's just the year. What's the other 7s from, I wonder? I need more information. I didn't even do numerology on my own event. Let's talk about Flattoberfest before I go. I'll talk about Flattoberfest, y'all. Yeah, so what do you mean? 7, 7. So 10, so 21 and 22. 2, 2, 2, that's 6. Plus 1 is 7. Okay. But October is 10. So 7, 7. And I don't know where the first 7 is. How do I figure it out? Where is it? October doesn't equal 7, does it? Octo is 8. Where's the other 7? Anyway. October 21st and 22nd, 2023. Conference hours, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. both days. So 2 full days of events, of presenters and music and fun. And we always have, giveaways, raffles, and, just other really cool stuff that goes on at the event. I never can list it all. You guys just have to get there. Anybody who's been there knows it is a wonderful time. And all kinds of good things happen. And it's always different, too. That's the other thing about these events. They're always different. I mean, the basic part of it, the basis of it is the same, but the things that happen are always unique to each event. So, yeah, that's how that goes. So if you go there, go to flatearthfestivals.com and Flattoberfest 2023. Under events here, Flattoberfest 2023, or you can go to 2023 Las Vegas Live, and you can go click on people's individual pages, right? But I gotta make Greg's page, Greg Reese's page. I haven't done that yet. Oops. So it's hosted by Rick Hummer, Dave Murphy from the UK, Mark Devlin from the UK, Amanda Vollmer from Canada, Jaron from the US, Mark Whitsitt, Benjamin Balderson. All the rest of us are United States people, I guess. But we do have some international presenters, and we've got some international attendees coming. And you can get your tickets here. You click this link. You click on this picture, book hotel. And that's going to take you to the Samstown website, where you can book your room for the event. See, it fills the day. You can add to those days if you want. Because it is part of the group, the hotel group, I think you have to put a deposit down that is equal to 1 night's stay, but you do get a little bit of a discount. And it is in the host hotel, so when you go, you'll be there. You don't even have to drive anywhere. You get up, come out of your room, walk downstairs, and you are surrounded by flat earthers. It is one of the best feelings in the world. You can only know if you go. You can only know if you go. So, there we go. That's, oh, and I have a, let's see, do I have my, do I have my thing here? Oh, yes. Yes, I do. I'm gonna play my, my brand new promo.
We gotta get you the fuck out of Dodge, man. We're going to Vegas.
What are you talking about, Vegas?
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
What do you mean, Vegas?
Vegas, Las Vegas.
I'm not going to no Vegas.
Yeah, I think, you know what, man? We're gonna go to Vegas and,
When are we going to Vegas?
We're gonna give Daddy the Rain Man suite. Do you dig that? We're going to Vegas, Mike. Vegas! You think we get there by midnight? Money, we're gonna be up 500 by midnight. Yeah! Vegas!
Flattoberfest 2023 in Las Vegas, Nevada at Sam's Town Hotel and Gambling Hall, featuring Mark Sargent and Karen B, with Jason Lindgren and Ben Balderson, and hosted by Rick Hummer. Also live will be Austin Whitsitt and Jaron Campanella. From the UK, Mark Devlin and Dave Murphy. Get excited for Amanda Vollmer and Greg Reese. Music by Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms, and a sound bath experience.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Yeah, buddy. So that's what we got for you on Flattoberfest so far. I think that's pretty much the full schedule. Now that I've added Greg Reese there, and I gotta make sure I remember to put him on the webpage. There is also going to be some other people there. There'll be vendors there, other flat earthers there with their stuff, their tables for you guys to see. And yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. And I can't wait to see you all there. Yeah, hey Lowry. Yeah, I like Greg Reese. I don't agree with everything, but you know. He's like the guy at InfoWars who's done some flat earth stuff, and some Antarctica videos. So, should be interesting having him there. I'm looking forward to talking to him. What kind of Shilajit? Yeah, so I put the link to the Shilajit that I bought in the chat if you're interested. It's just pure Himalayan Shilajit. It's not, I don't get any money for it. I don't, nothing, no kickbacks or nothing. That's just the one that I started taking and I like it. And I don't see them with like a lot of crazy advertisements all over the place. So I feel like they're just kind of been around for a while. Wish you would separate from InfoWars. Yeah, well, he did state that he was looking to sort of branch off and become more independent. So, but if they're helping him, stay afloat, gotta do what you gotta do, I guess, huh? Like Greg's video on Musk, yeah. No, can't be bad. Can't be a bad thing. Hey, Benjamin, you found us. Hail. Has anyone heard of FEs called Oakley and Phuket Word and ballers called Cats and Wolfie? What's everyone's thoughts on them? I only heard about them last night. Okay. Nathan Oakley has been around for a very long time. He does the flat earth debates. That's what he does. Phuket Word, his name is Nick. He lives in Thailand. And he's also been around for quite a while. He's a cool dude. I like Nick. But the ballers, Cats and Wolf, yeah, those guys are like idiot trolls, obviously. Nathan has built his channel off doing debates, flat earth debates. So that's like what he does. They basically entertain those stupid globies and they do those debates like all the time. Whatever. And some people like that. Some people like the debates and they have their place. I personally don't like to do debates. That's why I don't do them very often. I mean, did you guys see that disaster on Modern Day Debates the other day that I did with Witsit? It was like 4 hours long and the bullshit coming out of these people's mouths was horrendous, dude. It's horrendous. Like, if I wasn't laughing, I don't know if I'd be able to stand doing it. Like, all I can do is sit there and laugh at them and and watch them perform their ridiculous mental gymnastics on how to convince themselves that they live on a ball. Yeah. And they all hate anyone associated with Globebusters. Yeah, they used to, that's kind of why I just stopped talking about them, because they would attack other flat earthers, and I'm just not down with that, dude. Like, I don't want to. Flat earthers are already against pretty much the entire earth, most of the population. So I just don't care to deal with people who want to just create more infighting in between other flat earthers. And I know people accuse me of doing that, okay? Like, I get it. I've had people accuse me of causing division, but see, here's the thing, and let me just branch off into that for just a second. I don't think I'm causing division because I'm just stating my opinion on a certain subject, and because the majority of people seem to go along with a certain thing, i.e. Titan-sized trees, like mountains or trees, I was never on board with that. I'm still not on board with it. I think it's a ridiculous assertion, and there's nothing to support it. And I have my own theories about how some of these formations on Earth have formed, and it makes much more sense in how the Earth in how we know things work and how we know life works and the size and scale of proportion of life on this plane, and and etc. Okay, and it doesn't go along with mainstream science, because I know a lot of people say, well, Karen, you must believe the mainstream story. No, I don't believe the mainstream story. I just don't go along with that one. And so people then turn that around on me and say I'm causing division because I disagree with a certain theory or something, and I don't think that that's fair to accuse me of causing division when I'm just sticking to my opinions, right? Like, I'm just calling it like I see it. Maybe the majority of people aren't gonna agree with me, and I can't really worry about that, dude. I just have to be true to my own intuitions and my thought processes and go with what makes sense to me. And I can't really sit here and worry about whether or not everybody agrees with me or not, because hello, isn't that how we got stuck into believing a globe ball? And it's not like, I have anything against these certain theories. I just don't agree with the interpretation of the information that people are using to provide evidence for these certain claims, right? I just don't agree with that. And I have to be, I have to follow through with that. I can't just go along to get along, because that's just stupid. That just goes against everything that is inside of me. It goes against the whole entire reason why I even got into this whole whatever this thing is that we're doing, right? It wasn't so that I could just stop believing in one story and then go and believe somebody else's story without any, proof. Or, or if I don't see the evidence for that, why would I go along with that? And so people have accused me of causing division for those reasons. And I'm sorry, I just don't agree. I just don't agree, and I'm not the only one who doesn't agree with these things. Other people have come to me and messaged me and said, thank you for talking out about that because I think it's dumb too, or I don't agree with it either, or whatever somebody wants to say, but maybe, and maybe I'll get proven wrong, maybe not. But I'm not going to just agree just to agree because most people think that's true or most people agree. That's an appeal to consensus, and that is like not at all what I'm into. I really don't care if everybody agrees with me. I don't care if people don't like my idea about, I just don't care because I'm the one who has to live with that at the end of the day. I'm the one who has to live with the decisions I make on the content I put out or the things I support or whatever, not you, me. I have to feel good about it at the end of the day. And if I don't feel good about it, I ain't gonna do it. Can't spend 4 hours watching debates anymore over that. Exactly, Billingtano. Does not match reality. Same problem with spinning ball. Do not insult Karen for being intellectually honest. Yeah. Nick. Yeah, the Phuket word, he's cool. He is a nice guy. It's weird how the algorithm on YouTube hides loads of stuff when they know what we're looking at. Exactly. Yeah, reality matters. That's what I'm saying. So but I don't go and directly attack people. I mean, people may not like what I say, but I'm not attacking anybody. At least I hope people don't feel like I'm attacking them. And if somebody does feel attacked, well, I apologize for that, but I'm not. I'm talking about the data, right? The information, not the person. I don't have anything against anybody really. I just see things differently. It's good. It's good to offer different points of view. It's good to, have a variety of ways to look at things because it's good, right? It's good. If everybody thought the same thing, then we'd be in the echo chamber, right? And then what's the point? What's the point of even having a discussion? Hi, Boston Ray. So, one thing in particular that I've been speaking out that I really don't think is true is the Titan-sized trees. Like the mountains are trees. That any mountain was at one time an entire tree that was miles tall, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Trees are living things. They require so much resources to stay alive. I mean, the water alone that these trees have to soak up out of the ground to stay alive. I mean, a tree of that size, tree or multiple trees of that size, and not to mention how deep the root system would have to go and how far wide it has to spread out. If a tree was 30 miles tall, it would have a root system probably at least deeper than any hole we've ever dug, which is 8 miles. So, I mean, not all of what you see above ground goes below ground, but let's just say a third of it does, right? Probably it's about a third deep, right? So that's 10 miles? How far do you think that there's 10 miles of soil? 10 miles deep of soil to support a tree? And then people, oh, well, no, it's not that kind of tree, it's this kind of tree. Well, now you're just making stuff up. Now you don't have any proof that there were trees that were, silica trees that, you're just making stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we need to make stuff up. I think that this realm, after realizing it's not what they told us it is, has plenty of stuff going on that is quite interesting, that is absolutely 100% real. And so I just don't see the need to go make up these stupid avatar trees. I mean, part of me is people It's like you have to have some sort of fantasy thing, right, to hang on to. It's like, oh, now you don't have your space fantasy to hold on to, but now you got your giant tree fantasy. It's like the fantasy to replace the space fantasy. Like, oh, the world that once was, whatever. Like, you know, I just don't see it. Did you find your brain today? Oh, Zion tanked the first part intentionally. He faked that video or presented it intentionally stupidly. Yeah. Oh, dude. That video was incredibly stupid. I even typed to Austin, because, you know, you're in a Zoom call, and when you're in a Zoom call in the chat, you can go chat to either everybody in the call or you can chat to someone individually. So I messaged just Austin. I'm like, holy shit, this is the stupidest thing ever. And he's just laughing. Right away, we just started laughing because we're like, this is so dumb. How are you going to say you're proving curvature when literally the drone, the camera is going up and down, which is increasing the viewing angle to the ship, even though the camera itself obviously is, he's like, no, the angle doesn't change, but the drone is moving. That moves the angle. Like, duh! 12-mile hole or 8-kilometer. Yeah. Or it's 8 miles or 12 kilometers, I think is what it was. You know, and actually with a 30-foot tree, it would be 30-mile tree would be 60 to 120 mile radius root system, right? And then, right? But it would have to go deep. It would have to be like 10 miles deep from the taproot. I mean, you're talking about a massive, massive tree, and then it would, and it has to hold itself up somehow. You know, okay, and here's the other problem, okay? Just not even that, like, okay, and as much water, think about how much water trees need, right, to live. How's anything else gonna grow with a giant fucking 30-mile tall tree soaking up every resource in the ground? Like, it just does not make sense to me. And then, not only that, but the air gets so thin up there. There's no, the pressure gets really low because there is a pressure gradient inside the realm, right? And like, look at even Earth, the regular Earth that we stand on. There's a tree line. Even here, like, trees don't grow above a certain elevation, right? Like, let's see, what is the tree line? Tree line is the edge of the habitat at which trees are capable of growing. It is found at high elevations and high latitudes. Beyond the tree line, trees cannot tolerate the environmental conditions, usually low temperatures, extreme snowpack, or associated lack of available moisture. The tree line is sometimes distinguished from a lower timber line, which is the line below which trees form a forest with a closed canopy. Tree line often appears well-defined, but it can be a more gradual transition. Trees grow shorter and often at lower densities as they approach the tree line, above which they are unable to grow at all. Given a certain latitude, the tree line is approximately 300 to 100 meters below the permanent snow line and roughly parallel to it. Okay, so distribution in plants in a perpendicular direction in the torrid and temperate and frigid zones. Okay, so like 10,000 feet. Right here, this is 10,000, this is 15,000. So it looks like 10,000 feet, there's no trees anymore. So here, even the tree line is lower at the latitude closer to the equator. No, wait, it's lower because it's further north. So the further north you go, the lower the tree line goes. Look at this. Frigid zone, 68 north. There's no trees above like 2,000 feet. 2,000 feet. Yeah. People think that the mud flood and meltology are the same thing. It's not. Who thinks that? Yeah, the taproot would be insane. Billington, look at all the ruins. Amazing. We can learn so much. No need to make shit up. Looks like someone drew a line in the mountains. In some places, it's so defined. Exactly. So we're supposed to believe that the mountains were these giant trees that grew up past the tree line, past the frost line, past the snow line, past the habitable line for any living creature that we know of. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay? And then here's the other thing. And this is like basically why I don't think these trees are even real. And here's the other, okay, so what's the other thing? Okay, so then people say, oh, the Bible talks about giant trees and the book of Enoch. Well, yesterday I scoured the book of Enoch. I watched some videos and I realized that people are just misinterpreting things, and they are extrapolating from texts. They're adding things to it to prove their narrative. And like, you know, I don't want to talk crap about these people, but that's exactly what I saw was going on. Let me see if I can find it. Search. So I came across this, and it plays a Jay Dreamers video. Now, Jay Dreamers, I've met him. He's a nice guy, but his reasoning for thinking that angels that they chopped ancient trees, but then they're adding the giant part. They're adding the giant part. It doesn't. None of these trees are described as being giant trees in the book of Enoch. It talks about all kinds of trees, but none of them are giant. So, like, I had this PDF open and I used different sources, right? It mentions tree. The word tree is here 55 times. Well, that's not tree. Or 2 olive trees. It talks, and I was reading through every part where it talks about trees. None of these, it talks about different types of trees. It talks about unusual trees that Enoch supposedly saw in the Garden of Eden. Fragrant trees that are really beautiful, but fruitful tree. Right? So it never describes any of the trees as giant or reaching up to the heavens or any of that stuff. Okay? It talks about trees, but none of them are giant trees. And then the other part was so let me go back over to here.
The world was torn down, all of those giant silica pillars that reached up into the heaven, and a change shall take place, and the dry land shall not be left empty. We're focusing on the angels will labor or work on, right? Do something to the trees. One translation says they shall labor at the trees, or it could be said are making a wooden structure. The angels are making a wooden structure. What are the angels doing? Now, angels, as I've talked about in some of my other videos, there's other words for that, okay? I believe this is a direct reference to the Titans of old. Let me cut to the chase.
See, I believe. He's just saying that. I believe. This is, you're just extrapolating. Okay, that's cool. You can have your opinion, but there's nothing in the Book of Enoch text. Look at this. And just to show you, I was actually looking in a book. Can you guys see this? Let me just say, let's see, can only be more. Okay, see? The collected works of Enoch the prophet. I went through this book. I went through my PDFs. I searched my PDFs online. Nothing in the Book of Enoch talks about giant trees. And here's the other thing. When it talks about the angels cutting down the trees, it says that there are it uses the number 200 a lot. 200 this, 200 that, because there was supposedly 200 watchers. which were the fallen, whatever, fallen angels who came down, who were supposed to protect mankind, but ended up mingling with them, right? So that's the 200. And then it talks about in there the 200 trees, doesn't say giant trees, it says the 200 trees that represent the watchers. So it's talking about telling the angels to cut down the 200 trees, which signify cutting down the watchers. It doesn't say anything about them being giant trees. Redwoods eat fog through their bark to be able to do that. Yeah, they have like an entire ecosystem up in their canopies. It's really actually quite fascinating. I just got hit with a copyright claim on moon phases in time. Why? Is it for the, did you play my, you didn't play my promo, did you? Because that song, it could be the song on the promo, but if you played the promo, but I don't remember. No, we didn't play it. Why would you get a copyright claim on that? I hope they don't nail this channel too. The only tree that eats through their bark is redwood. Yeah, okay, and then, so then somebody gave me another video. Let me see if I can find it in my history here. Oh, let me see if I can find. No, I don't have it in my history. Where did I watch it? Maybe I watched it on Facebook. And also, just to add to that, the one time when it does talk about a giant tree in the Bible, in Daniel chapter 4, that is Nebuchadnezzar's dream. So it's describing a vision in a dream where he describes this tree that stretches over the ends of the earth. It's a dream. So that's not actually talking about a real tree either. No giant trees in scripture and no giant trees in Enoch specifically. I don't know why people feel the need to add to these things. Like, that's where we get ourselves in trouble. When people start adding to things or making their own spin-offs of it, you know, this is why I started reading the scripture and doing videos of it, because I just wanted to read it for what it is. I want to see what it says in there, right? Because it's like one of the most controversial books on the plane, right? So for me, that I finally realized, I was like, you know what, it's important enough that I should at least read it. I don't have to be a believer of it 100%. I don't have to like walk around and like be like, praise Jesus, but I want to know what it says. Like, I'm reading it because I want the education. You know what I'm saying? So let me see if I can find this video I watched. Who cut down the trees? See if it'll pop up. Who cut down the giant trees? Maybe I need to put giant in there. Extraterrestrial humans. Oh, I can't find it. Let me see. So the reference seems to be tied directly to the 200 Watchers, actually in the Book of Giants from the Dead Sea Scrolls, where it states that the Watchers had a vision of angels being sent down to cut 200 trees. Then they went and asked the Nephilim Council to explain it. Then they go to consult Enoch for interpretation. Then Enoch explains the 200 trees represent the 200 Watchers, while felling their trunks represents their coming destruction in the deluge. Some have taken that combined with the Enoch verse about labor to also be literal, and that the trees were cut down as physical act representing the prophecy so that there was nowhere to escape during the flood. However,
It appears in all situations, including Daniel, is used as an allegory to present mighty leaders and their coming fall. It does describe a vision of a heavenly garden where Yah sent angels to cut down 200 trees, and then Enoch told them that it represents 200 watchers and the destruction. People interrupt it to have a literal application that the angels were sent to cut giant trees prior to the flood as a sign of what would come, but it requires assumptive interpretation, and it is actually founded upon Book of Giants and Enoch. People bring up Daniel also, but is too clearly in context of describing an analogy of the fall of a mighty leader that ruled over nations. Probably important to note that there are interpretations of Enoch, and it seems to suggest that angels labored at the trees and Yah preserved it, where it does appear to be literal with no specific description of size. Thank you, Austin Whitsitt, for that very insightful comment on my post. Oh, here we go. Here's the video. Let's see. So this... And I just want to point out too, like, how this guy is basically adding. They're adding to it.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to do a really quick follow-up video on who cut down really quick and show you guys who cut down the trees.
Okay, so check this out.
Okay, here.
Wait, let me make sure you guys are looking at what I'm looking at. Yeah, okay. This is from the No Forest on Flat Earth video, which I freaking hate. But watch. We're gonna watch it. This is a short one.
Here we have the scripture from the Dead Sea Scroll version. Okay. Now, in the Dead Sea text entitled The Book of Giants, the Nephilim, sons of the fallen angel, Shemyaza, named Aya and Oya, experience dream visions in which they visit a world garden and see 200 trees being felled by heavenly angels. Felled means cut down. Not understanding the purpose of this allegory, they put the subject to the Nephilim Council, who appoint one of their number, Mohawi, to go on their behalf to consult Enoch, who now resides in an earthly paradise. To this end, Mohawi then rose up into the air like the whirlwinds and flew with the help of his hands like winged eagle over the cultivated lands and crossed solitude the giant desert, and he caught sight of Enoch and he called to him. Enoch explains that the 200 trees represent the 200 watchers. Okay, now, so you understand that, let's go back to the book of Enoch, okay? And right here it says, "And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children." So anyways, they all get together on this mountain, and as you can see here, then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. Okay, now let's go back over to the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay, as you can see
and
here,
right here, hold on.
Enoch explains that
this is where he makes the extrapolation. Pay close attention.
the 200 trees represent the 200 watchers. Remember, the 200 watchers were originally angels. They were 200 fallen angels. Okay, they were to watch over the earthly beings, but they decided to come down and mate with the earthly women, which is what caused the Nephilim. Okay, so while the felling of their trunks signified their destruction in a coming conflagration and deluge, that means the flood was coming. That's why these angels were sent down to cut down the trees. Okay, and just like I showed you in Enoch 66:2, you know, God sent the angels to work at the trees. So anyway,
now keep in mind that there were 200 trees for the 200 angels.
as you can see here in the Dead Sea Scrolls and from the book of Enoch and from Daniel from the Holy Bible, the giants did not cut down the trees. God sent angels here to cut down the trees because he was getting ready to flood the earth. And the only thing that would have been big enough to climb those trees to the heavens would have been the giants.
The only thing that would have been able to climb those trees to the heavens would have been the giants. That is a huge extrapolation, a huge leap in logic, because nowhere in here does it talk about the trees being so giant that they couldn't, that it doesn't even talk about the size of the trees. It just says 200 trees. That's it. Just 200 trees. Then, you know, people are making this extrapolation and they're making this insinuation to get clicks, right? Because people find it interesting. They're being intrigued by this suggestive type of content. And, you know, like, I don't want to be a jerk. I'm not trying to cause division, but I don't want to be tricked by somebody else. I don't care if you're a flat earther or what you think you are. Like, I don't agree with people making these extreme extrapolations and adding to stuff to create a confirmation bias on their preconceived beliefs, which don't have any real proof. Like, don't you, you know, this is my only thing. Like, don't you guys feel like, you know, you were lied to enough in this life? Like, you believed enough lies and bullshit? You believed in enough fantasy? You know, don't you want to know the truth? Like, I want to know the truth. And it's like, early on, I kind of was open to the idea of there possibly being giant trees, okay? Like, I didn't like that video, but enough people were into it back then, years ago when that came out, that I actually did look into it, because I was like, well, maybe, you know, maybe it is, you know, let's look into it, because, you know, you can't really dismiss anything without looking at it, because that's not really wise either. But once I started to dig into it, I mean, I've explained to you the reasons why I think this isn't true, and then people try to use these ancient texts as proof of some giant tree, and it's just not proof. It doesn't even read like that. And I feel like these people who are citing these don't actually read them. Or this guy, he does read it, but then he inserts in there, the only thing that would have been big enough to climb those trees that reached up to the heavens were the giants. Nowhere in here. Do you see here? It doesn't say that they reached up to the trees. It said that they were fallen by heavenly angels. Just regular trees. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, the reason why I speak out against this stuff is for reasons like this. You know, like, I don't, you know, maybe that's why I don't get a lot of subs. Maybe that's why, you know, whatever. I don't care, but I don't want to believe in somebody else's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. I want to understand this place. I want to understand where I am and where I live. You know, I want to know. I don't want to guess. And I don't want to, you know, go down rabbit holes based on people making extreme extrapolations in text and adding shit either. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of that rant. Can anyone advise best channel to watch regarding scriptures and things of the nature? Yeah, I do a show. If you look on this channel has some of the older episodes, but I've been streaming it here. I streamed it here last Saturday. We have anti-religious scripture study where we go over scripture and we translate it, and we try to do it without putting it through the churchianity filter, you know, the organized religion filter. Let's see. So here on see, when you see this thumbnail, it's got the tarot card on it. Anti-religious scripture study. That's them. Whoops. But yeah, episode 1, 2. You can start at 1. We start at Genesis. Read it in order. You know. So yeah. So just check it on this channel under playlists. There'll be an anti-religious scripture study. Yeah. Are these unlisted? Oh, I should make these public on this channel, I guess. These are old Flattoberfest presentation videos. Here's Mike Williams from 2021. Imagination. It is most where he did a whole thing on hypnosis. I got Marty. Oh, Bob.
Aww.
Increasing velocities proves slowing time. It does nothing of the sort.
That's Bob's last presentation.
Corroborate this whatsoever, but mainstream scientism is content to accept this explanation and story.
I should make that public. This is unlisted. How cool is that? I forgot that was on here. I forgot that was on here. I'm kind of glad I looked in there now. But anyway, yeah. This is the Anti-Religious Scripture Studies show. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Men making shit up gets old. I agree, Cammy. Karen's anti-religious scripture on Saturday mornings. Yeah, it's fun. My children's mother taught me a lot about twisting and misconstruing the truth throughout our family court saga. That was completely unnecessary. New Age bias. New Age is religion too. Psyllium is clickbaiting lately. Sap is not quartz in reality. Yeah. You know, and they get upset at me because they're like, well, you need to go watch Hangman Blobbity Blah's channel and see all his evidence. Like, I went and watched that stuff. And I'm sorry, I don't agree with going out and picking up minerals and saying this is something else with no proof at all whatsoever. Like, I went and watched one of those videos and it was literally the guy standing there and he picks up a piece of muscovite or mica, which I know what it is and the makeup of it. And he says, this is wood. This is bark. No, it's not, dude. No, it's fucking not. Like, you cannot just sit there and just pick up anything and say, this is that, and this is that, and this is that. And like it's the fact or truth with absolutely no evidence or basis behind it. Like, it is the most ridiculous, mind-numbing shit I could ever think to watch. And I'm sorry, but that is the truth, you know? And people go, oh, but look at this, look at that. Like, they were using the visual similarities as proof of something, but you gotta understand that's not how the world of minerals work. It's just not how the world of minerals work. Looks can be deceiving, and one thing can look like something and be something completely different, and at its molecular core, at the base makeup of it. And you can't just make claims. Like, that is just disingenuous. It's extremely disingenuous and misleading to just pick stuff up and just say, oh, this is that. Like, I had to turn it off. Because I'm like, I can't just sit here and, like, what am I just going to sit here and watch for hours this dude show videos of rock and say one thing is another, without even performing any sort of test on any material at all whatsoever? Like, that to me is just a complete waste of time. Miss Bob so much. I know, Cammy, miss Bob too. Speculation, yeah. Lots of speculation. Speculation too that based on the stuff that I just talked about, like, what about the tree line? And what it takes to support a tree? What are the tree? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of it is making a huge leap in logic, and it's a very big assumption to make about reality. Like, there's just, to me, it is extremely disingenuous. Lots of things look similar. Yeah. I said that about the redwoods because the eating fog through bark mechanism makes them the only tree that can get as large as they do. Right, Ben. I hear ya. Like, to me, that's the giant trees. We still have giant trees. Like, I'm not saying there were never big trees. There are big trees. Giant trees. I consider giant redwoods to be giant trees because those trees are incredibly massive compared to the most of the trees in my woods, right? Like, I literally live surrounded by rocks and trees. Surrounded by rocks and trees. Intelligent speculation needs to have a basis in reality. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no, it just doesn't work in reality. And then to like, and where, you know, I find it even more of an issue is when they go back and they start talking about, oh, maybe the old atmosphere was like this, and there used to be more oxygen this, and there used to be more this. Well, now you're sort of making assumptions about the past that you can't prove. Okay, first of all. And second of all, they're starting to incorporate like theories that come from a heliocentric belief system. Like the vapor canopy, that comes from them believing that Earth used to have ice rings around it, like Saturn at one time, and then all the ice rings collapsed to the surface of the Earth and caused a vapor canopy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why anybody even entertains that shit, but that's just my opinion. You know, everybody's free to look at whatever they want to look at, to look into whatever they want to look into. But like, for me, these are the questions that I have that make me not go along with it. Like, those questions can't be answered. They haven't been answered by anybody to my satisfaction. And to me, it's like, it doesn't really do anything to improve our lives or improve, you know, how we live in this world or anything like that. But whatever people want to spend their time looking at is cool, you know. But I have to say this is why I don't really go along with that stuff. It's too far of a reach for me. In the middle of a fort, yeah. Such is the fractal nature of our realm. Yeah, seriously. I mean, a lot of things look similar, but I don't think it's because one thing is that other thing. It's because everything is driven by the same force. Everything is subject to the same unseen forces inside this realm. And so I think that's where these similar visual patterns start to appear, is because everything is of the same, you know, how do I explain it? Everything is driven by the same divine proportion, the golden proportion. That is the divine proportion, and it is what drives, you know, life here. It's what creates the natural entropy, and from that comes order. Like, it all relates to the divine proportion. It's just because everything is of the same source. It doesn't mean that one thing is another. It doesn't mean we live on giant petrified people. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that the big stumpy looking mountain is actually a giant tree stump, because it could just be that it formed that way, because that's how minerals work. See, this is why I would really like people need to learn more about how things actually work in this world. Come on. So like this one meme I made, let's see if I can, so like these here, I'll just show you these pictures. I won't even have to bring up the meme, but like these pictures right here. So these mountains that are flat on top like this, right? This big tall pillar looking mountain flat on top that everybody thinks these things are trees, or even this one. And even look at the mountain in the background on this one. It's got the same angle. Look at, even on a mountainous scale, those angles repeat across the mountain range, which, see, this is what I find really, really fascinating. Like, that just goes to show you that that's how these things formed, according to the crystal systems in this particular cluster of mass that formed, you know? But see, look at this. Do you see this? So here's a crystal, aquamarine, tourmaline, corundum. Number of crystals will naturally form in a pillar form and then terminate flat on the top naturally. Okay, and then here's some quartz that grow in a pillar form, and they have that sharp angle right at the side naturally. This is just how these things form, right? And you don't need any fantasy story. You don't need to have giants. You don't need to like presuppose all of these fantasy things that may or may not have happened or existed to explain these features on the earth. It is quite simply, in my opinion, how things form on the earth, right? Because the earth had to form someplace, right? It had to form at some point. So when it formed, this is what happened, you know? And then the hint is here in these smaller crystals, these smaller final crystals that we can find around in all over the place. Nature is telling us what it is. It's telling us what it is. But people want to make up stories about avatar giant trees that could never have, in my opinion, could not have existed. There's really no evidence that it could have existed, trees of that size in this realm. But what can happen is that minerals can, you know, we know how crystals form. They form in a supersaturated slurry, okay? And they form bonds together and they grow. And we know this for a fact. We can do it in labs. We have numerous scientific papers about it. We know we can grow these crystals in labs. We can grow diamonds. It doesn't require putting coal under immense amounts of pressure. It requires creating the correct conditions in a slurry, sometimes a heated slurry, whatever it is, a supersaturated slurry to allow these crystals to form. And if you know the beginning of Genesis, that's how it starts. In the beginning, there was a deep, the formless deep, and the face and the wind, the spirit of the creator was across the deep, right? Like that's it. There was a great wind across the deep. What is the great deep, in my opinion? It is the supersaturated crystalline slurry that provided the initial growing conditions to form the land upon which we all live. And I think this is telling us that truth. And I don't, you know, this is just how I see it. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe other people, they won't say I'm causing division. Whatever. But this is simple to me. The simplistic, beautiful nature of the realm is right there for everyone to see. And it doesn't require some crazy, like, fantastical story. And to me, that is like the magic of this realm, you know, that these things can happen without, you know, any sort of interference from any earthly creature, right? Like there's no earthly creature that does anything to grow these crystals. They just do it on their own, right? The earth is literally alive and it's telling us. There are natural laws, pressure mediation, entropy, alchemy, it's all there in reality. Yeah. The way things in the world work changes all the time anyways. Well, and it's fine for, you know, and maybe it's necessary for people to sort of walk through that belief, you know, maybe that's part of their path, and maybe that's part of their whatever they're going through within themselves, you know, maybe they have, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm trying to be positive here, but to me, I feel like it's kind of just another bupkis. It's just another, you know, fantasy. Do crystals have properties of sound? Effed up world. Yes, actually, let me show you really quick.
Crystals are literally light and sound in a solid form. They have a vibrational rate, a dominant oscillatory rate. They have some of them have piezoelectric properties, right? They can produce electricity when you put them under mechanical pressure, etc. See if I can. Here we go.
What is a crystal?
Watch this. Let's watch this real quick. This is Marcel Vogel. So I'm going to tell you who this is. This is Marcel Vogel. He's a guy who pioneered crystal healing. And like if you guys hear about those Vogel crystals where they cut them in a certain way to sort of amplify the power of these quartz crystals, these natural quartz crystals, and they use them for multiple ways for healing. And I have taken a crystal healing course myself, so I'm very familiar with this, and I do believe it works. Crystals do work. So this right here is a really great video where he talks about how crystals form.
Assemblage of molecules which form a unit cell of its identity in space, and from that unit cell a consciousness is given to it, a soul if you want. Once that soul enters that unit cell, it draws to itself the replication of its image. We speak of man being made to the image and likeness of God. We can see that in action when you grow crystals. I've grown thousands of them. It's the most exciting thing you can involve yourself with. You first must develop a seed crystal. That is, you let matter go into a state of solution. You take water, you dissolve salt, sodium chloride, in the water. A salt is a crystal. When it's in solution, it is clear, transparent, light will pass through it with no distortion except the normal refraction of the change in refractive index from the glass vessel to the water. You then evaporate the water down to a point where you get to supersaturation.
Supersaturation.
What does supersaturation means? It means that the water molecules moving around in the sodium chloride molecules moving around in the water are getting closer and closer together. And finally, supersaturation is these molecules are bumping. The free space has been reduced and they hit. When they hit, energy takes place, exchange, and they start then to, the next moment they hit, they fuse. They lock into place and you get what we call precipitation. It falls out of solution. Supersaturation. When they fall out of solution, that precipitation is a polycrystal. Poly means many different directions. Now you take a polycrystalline particle, you take one under the microscope and you pull a single crystal of one of these little tiny crystals out, and you mount it on the tip of a wire, silver wire or copper as well. You then put it into a saturated solution. That means that these molecules are jiggling together, but they're not bumping or crowding into each other. The moment you put that crystal in, the outer face of that crystal will dissolve, comes to equilibrium with the mass that you have, and suddenly a remarkable thing takes place. From that melt, from that crystal, an information has been transported to the fluid to say, I am ready now to grow into the form I am to be. It releases a consciousness. And then as you hold your temperature constant and the vibration around the room, the thing will start to accrete, 1 unit cell at a time. A unit cell is the smallest fraction of the combination, let's say, of sodium and chlorine, that it will retain the identity of sodium chloride. You go below that, it is only a sodium atom and a chlorine atom, or ion. Now, I'm going to come right back to where I started. I made, in 1961, a major discovery.
Right here. Listen to what he says right here. He says, I made in 1961 a major discovery. Listen to what he says.
That I could grow crystals precisely when I applied sound to them.
Boom!
When I found the note for a particular class or category of crystals I wished to grow. And when I sounded that note, either in the solution or in the furnace, that crystal grew perfectly. I got a magnificent single crystal with all of the faces developed and in exact pattern of symmetry and form.
An exact pattern of symmetry and form. I find that to be absolutely fascinating, and it completely goes along with what we know about everything is frequency, vibration, right? Energy, frequency, and vibration. Well, sound, it falls right into that category, and it also goes, along with scripture, in that the Creator said, let there be light. So that is, speaking, that is introducing sound into a super saturated crystal slurry, and therefore growing these perfect forms, our perfect earth where we live now. I mean, it's beautiful and simple, and so, to me, it's way more mind-blowing than any, story about people, cutting down trees. To me. And the earth came out of the water. Yes! Yes. Yeah, no, I don't watch that because that person has become toxic, Robert Page, and I just don't need toxicity in my life. I don't care if they make videos about me. I never care about when people make videos about me, but I just stopped giving those people my energy because they don't deserve it. And they won't talk to any of us face to face, by the way. They act like they're not doing that maliciously, but they blocked me on Facebook and they won't talk to me face to face. So, does that sound like it's not malicious? Whatever. Anyway, do you want to finish? We'll finish this.
This is a crystal of quartz. When, for example, sodium chloride we have been working with emerges into the solid form that you can hold in your hand, the unit cell of sodium chloride is cubic. Each side is equal, parallel, and of the same basic dimension. So you deal with a perfect cube. This is one of the basic forms in nature. The next shape we have in the crystallographic world is hexagonal, or six-sided. The shaping that quartz takes in its evolution and development of a crystal form is hexagonal. The reason for that is the unit cell of quartz has a hexagonal form to it. Its memory unit is hexagonal. The unit cell of sodium chloride is cubic. The consciousness of a crystal growing is where that unit cell oscillates, projects its vibration in space, its identity of the square cubicness of sodium chloride or the hexagonalness of the quartz. There is something beyond purely that vibration, and I call this the soul of the crystal. It's initiation of a life force.
Because everything's alive, man.
Into being. That is where sound comes.
That is where sound comes.
It is an initiatory process. When you sound the right note, the crystal starts beating in a symmetrical form, and these unit cells drop into place and start to build the spiral of the life form of this crystal.
Oops.
And they grow in a right-handed spiral as they emerge from the unit, the nucleating site.
Where'd my window go?
Now, as they drop into place, they develop what we call faces. This is a face. It's a termination from the crystal. It will grow in a spiral like this and will stop here, develop.
So the crystals grow in a spiral form. So there you see the vortex is even inside of a crystal. So when you see the finished product of a crystal, even though it has all the straight lines and the points and it can look very sharp, it grows in a spiral form. So there you go. There, the vortex, the divine magnetic vortex driving that growth. Oh yeah,
develop here until it's formed all 6 sides. The reason it stops is the following. Initiation of growth is here, and because of the forces, the temperature, the vibration, the oscillating temperatures that exist in the atmosphere surrounding this, and above all, the nucleating food of the fluid, silicic acid, it will grow and develop in this way. Now, when there is interruption of the growth, you see it as little transverse ridges. It means that there was a momentary interruption in the pattern of growth of this crystal. Each of these angles here, in this face versus this, are identical to all quartz crystals throughout the world. We have what we call a goniometer. We set this on and we measure these angles. We compare them to a handbook. We can identify quartz. We then identify the termination. A crystal will come to completion. It will complete its life cycle, and in the process of completion, this is the story of the completion of this crystal's growth. Come to the end of its life, its work is done, it's time to move on, and it leaves the shell, the remnants of its growth that you see here. Leaves the remnants and the shell of its growth. To put the life back into the crystal, you need but breathe on it. Because what breath does is initiates the vibrating, oscillating action that brought this into being. It's a very, very important statement.
Yeah, see, I like his outlook on it. Like, you know how there's also a bunch of different theories that people have about, or maybe ideas on how to, like, quote unquote, cleanse crystals or clear them or whatever. He doesn't talk about putting it in a bowl of salt, putting it in the moonlight, or putting it in the sunlight. He just says you hold it and you breathe on it to clear the energy of it. I think that's really fascinating, actually, and it's kind of similar to the way that I was taught from the crystal healer that I learned from on how to clear crystals. It was you take a tuning fork, again involving sound, and you strike the tuning fork and you bathe the crystal in the sound, and that is another way to clear the crystal.
And I think both of those are much better ways than sunlight, moonlight, salt, any of that, because, you know, different crystals have different hardness, different properties, and so some of them don't do so well in water. You know, some of them will start to dissolve, so you don't want to put them in water. So maybe they might not like even being next to salt. And also a lot of the colors in these crystals will fade in the sunlight, right? Because most of these crystals grow in the ground, out of sight. They don't grow, they're not growing, you know, in under the sun, right? They're growing hidden out of sight. And so some of the colors in the crystals can be faded by sunlight. So I would say if you really have some brightly colored pieces, you definitely don't want to put those in the sunlight. Just go ahead and use a tuning fork or put the breath, your co-creator divine breath, all over it and clear that crystal. Hey, beyond the imaginary curve, I'm sure military used quartz for radio communication. Yeah, the quartz is in everything. All those technologies, and actually I've just recently found out that one of the biggest quartz mines is here in North Carolina in Spruce Pine, and I want to go over there, and I want to take my drone and see if I can get drone footage of the quartz mine, because it looks really impressive, like a giant quartz mountain, and it's supposed to be some of the purest quartz on Earth, like water clear quartz. Like quartz, when it's really, really pure, it looks like water. It is as clear as like pristine water. Literally, it looks like frozen water. Hey, look, you do whatever you want. I don't wish anything bad on those people. I'm just not giving that any energy. Very quickly when the conditions are met, not over eons or even years in most cases. Yeah, see, and him talking about being able to apply the right sound and make the crystal grow in perfect uniformity, like perfectly, all the angles and everything, like in perfection. You know, it's, where was I going with this? Yeah, it can happen quick, right? So like the fact that they're creating diamonds, right? Like that there are synthetic diamonds that are already on the market for sale, that should tell you that creating crystals, especially diamonds, which are some of the hardest material on the Mohs scale, right? Diamonds are a 10 out of 10 on the Mohs scale. That's the hardest material. So they can create synthetic diamonds, and put them on the market for sale. And it hasn't been millions of years, has it? Right? Like they didn't start doing this process millions of years ago, right? This is something that they can do now in real time and in very short amounts of time. So, and there's a lot of synthetic minerals that are being created out there. So that should tell you that the mineralization process, the bonding process, it's not about time, it's about conditions. It's about having the right conditions. And that's why there's things like impossible fossils and, you know, things where they find like screws or hammers inside of rocks, you know, that they would normally probably try to date at like millions of years old. It's because, you know, and this is where this is why I started saying that the crystals, they're alive, but they're not alive like everything else. They're not mortal. You know, it's an immortal type of existence for them because they can be broken down into their tiniest, smallest pieces. And all you have to do is put them in the right conditions and they will start to form again. They will grow back to the crystalline form that they were to begin with, right? So we have some huge boulders on the property. They are definitely morphing as opposed to eroding. Really? Earthship Air, that's interesting because, yeah, some people think that, you know, and it's possible that it's accumulating from the moisture in the air, right? Because the air, like the air in our atmosphere, what's the most abundant, the most abundant thing in the atmosphere is like, what is it? Nitrogen, then, oxygen and water. Or is it that order? But I know water is like the third most abundant
thing in the air, right? And everything behaves like a fluid, and water is a carrier. So it is entirely possible for these, tiny little water droplets to be carrying these minerals through the air. And when the water droplet, through the pressure change in the day and night cycle, right? Like when the dew collects on the surface of things in the morning, it totally makes sense to me that the mineral, that the dew is carrying these minerals. It adheres to the rock, okay? The water evaporates away, and then the mineral is left behind, forming a bond to the existing rock. What is that called, Cami? Epigenic growth? Epigenic growth? I want to get it right. I can't find that word. I don't know if that's the right word for that type of growth, but what it is it's additional growth onto a rock or a crystalline form, like after the fact, like after the original formation of said rock or crystal, right? So that's all it means. And it's sort of like when you look at these videos, when you go like look at the videos of the people in the cave divers, right? Like they go under there and they find like these giant pillars, these stalactites, stalagmites, big, huge sheets of mineral that have just been, building up over time. It's really fascinating. It's important to investigate and ponder. Ponder to me is checking it against reality. Yeah. Happy to over with you and answer anything till I personally replace atoms with charge potential. Yeah, even in so here, he's talking about atoms. He's just using that because that's just how people understand the process of what's happening. But there's that old crystals video from the 50s, right? Where the guy's talking about atoms, like the crystal atoms. And he even says specifically in that, he's like, don't let me fool you with my talk about atoms. He's like, nobody's ever seen one, and nobody knows what they look like, and they could look like four-leaf clovers for all I know. But this is how they understand the process to work. But it's, nobody sees atoms. But you do see a crystal, seed crystal, once it becomes big enough you could see it, the seed crystal forms, and you can watch them get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's happening and you can watch it happen, but it's that initial, like what he's talking about, that initial seed crystal, the first unit cell, or the first creation of that bond, that electric, whatever that is called, that attraction, that formation, like he's saying, like the soul of the crystal, like there's something in there, whatever that force is, that divine force that causes these things to start the bonds, creating the bonds together. Yes, don't let me fool you. Exactly. We don't know what atoms. Nobody thinks that atoms are real, but it's just a way to talk about it, the process and how it happens in a way that we can understand it, to make it, people have to figure it out. You have to visualize it in your head. This is some fantastic crystal gravy. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Can you share that article? Oh, shoot. I just saw that. Who's asking me to share what article? Which article? I missed you. I missed that question in chat. I apologize. Gotta go. See you all later. Yeah, the spark of divinity. Fun fact, secret ingredient for making snowflakes in laboratory is electricity. Right. And so by this guy saying that he uses a specific sound, to help these crystals form, I just, that is, and the parallels between that and what it says in scripture, that to me is not that far of a leap, but I'm also open to, ideas, criticism on it, I'm learning too. All right, you guys. Wow, 4 hours. All right, I think I will wrap it up, I guess. And I hope that you all will join me back here again next Monday for Coffee Talk, because I will be on this channel for the foreseeable future. Thank you, YouTube, for striking my main channel. Appreciate it. And I'm also on Rockfin, Rumble. I stream to Facebook, Twitch. I'm all over the place. But YouTube, I'll be at Unveiling This Realm for the foreseeable future, as I have already said ad nauseum. So tomorrow, Strange World will be here at 10 p.m. with Mark Sargent, and also, of course, Anti-Religious Scripture Study on Saturdays. And I do appreciate you all being here, and thank you for finding my little backup channel and for commenting, and that's it. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. And for those who wish to send me stuff through snail mail, you can send it to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. There are also links below for Flat Earth merch, and you can send me donations. And I do appreciate all the support. Sincerely, thank you very much. Also, please go to flatearthfestivals.com for all information about upcoming Flattoberfest and Flat Earth-friendly local meetups. If you are organizing a local Flat Earth meetup, email me at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com with your meetup information to have it listed on the website for free. For everything else, you can email me at karenbfe@protonmail.com. Thank you for being here.